What deck? What? Alright, there we go. I'm live, Stream Decker's active. Alright. Everything should be good. Hey everyone, welcome back. So instead of doing a speed run, I have this theme. There's this midweek magic thing that's going on right now that I want to participate in, and it only has 24 hours left. And I want to participate a lot of time in it. So the special theme is that we have access to all the standard cards, so we can make whatever stupid deck we want to make. I have a lot of ideas, and not a lot of cards. Therefore, I have a lot of stupid decks I want to make that I know won't work. Last time in Strixhaven, I did this with Cody. Before we figured out the last piece that made Cody good, I tried to do it with a Teamer deck. And it failed, and I lost every single one of my rare crafts to it. So, we're hoping to take advantage of this to see what sort of stupid jank we could create see if it actually works. So this first one, I'm going to do the ones I enjoy the most first. So the first one that I'm hoping for is Deadly Blacks here. So I could show everyone. So, first of all, let me explain where the idea comes from. So there's a card called Finn the Fanebearer. So, it's a one that, whenever a Death Touch creature does combat damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. Now, a lot of people have the idea of get a lot of Death Touchers, get Finn, and then, you play... Oh, right. Has not collected? Huh. Pugil List. I'm trying to find it right now. There it is. Augmenter Pugilist. So it has an opposite side, Echoing Equation. You choose a creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy of it until end of turn. So the idea was to use the Echoing Equation on Finn the Fanebearer to turn like 3 or 4 of your creatures into Finn, and then if 2 get through on the attack, you win the game. The problem is, if Finn dies, that fails. If the Echoing Equation, you need to have double blue in your deck. In a Death Touch deck. Blue doesn't have Death Touch creatures. That's basically green and black solely mechanic. So, the only blue here is Zargoth Triumph, which is fetched out with Binding of the Old Gods. And instead of the Augment Pugilist instead of the Echoing Equation to make a dozen of them, I'm just gonna have a few double majors to duplicate creatures. So it just makes a single duplicate, which is all I need. In addition, the problem with Fane, you have to basically, if you're at 8 poison counters, if they're nearly dead with poison, and then they just make sure you never get to play Finn again. They just kill him and make sure that you never get to play Finn again. Finn fails. There's no other... The other win condition is to slowly turn them down with 1/1 Death Touchers. All those things make me not like Finn. So I want to take that same concept, but I want to make it more secure. I want to have a stronger approach. So instead of Finn being poison counters, I chose Hooded Blightfane as my main card. So this is a 1/4 Death Toucher, and whenever a creature I control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain 1 life. So that's the main theme. It also destroys Planeswalkers, which is pretty cool. But basically, instead of having a bunch of Death Touch creatures, I'm going to have just Hooded Blightfane. I do have some good Death Touchers. Mire Triton, Falmer Knight, good Death Touchers. But I'm going to use the final trigger of Binding of the Old Gods to give all my creatures Death Touch. That's how I plan to do the finishing blow. From there, there's one strategy of using that. Dina Soul Steeper is an additional creature so that when they lose 1 life and I gain 1 life, that 1 life gain triggers Dina, which causes them to lose 1 life. Double major on that could work as well. Also, Blightfane is not a legendary creature, so if I just happen to draw three of them, I could just play 3 Hooded Blightfanes and perhaps just win the game off of that. There's a second part of this deck, which I really enjoy. So Blex Vexing Pest. So other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders you control get +1/+1, and when it dies, you gain 4 life. It also has an alternative side to help me search for cards, which is cool, but not really what I'm using it for. This thing gives everything +1/+1 while I'm waiting for the Death Touch triggers. That includes my Eye Twitch. That includes all my pests that will be the many... basically, the idea is I make a dozen pests so that they all gain Death Touch, and then Hooded Blightfane drains out my opponents. So, with that, we have this additional pest synergy. If I double major Blex, that's +2/+2. That turns every one of my pests into 3/3s. With Sedgemoor Rich, I could get a bunch of those. Like, there is an actual Blex combo synergy strategy in here, on top of the Death Touch strategy. And here's another theme. Where Finn the Fanebearer is not a constructed playable card without that combo, where Augmenter Pugilist is just a little behind constructed without that combo, Sedgemoor Witch, that's just a good card. Binding of the Old Gods, that's just a good card. Hooded Blindflame, a little weak, but very much in play. Very much playable. Valimire Knight, good Death Toucher. Myretran, just good Death Toucher. Eye Twitch, just good creature. All the sideboard, because I have a little blue, I could splash in Teachings of the Archaics to make sure I get enough card draw. So which, because of that, I'm probably going to go down one Loctwain, up one Swamp. But yeah, look at that. Like, I have all these options. I have 7 learns, plus Call of Death Dwellers to get me more Eye Twitches if I need them. Like, we have a bunch of different options. So it's a Death Touch deck, but it's also a Blex deck, and it's able to synergize with those as well, which basically means I have multiple win conditions, and because I have multiple win conditions, if they manage to take me out in one direction, I still have the other. Oof. I really like that. I might need to add a Lair of the Hydra or something, because, like, the main issue with this deck is if my opponent starts board clearing. I don't know how I answer that, but I really like the concept. So, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted Blex to see play. Blex was such a fun-looking card, so I'm really hoping Blex makes their debut and makes it well. Alright, we're facing Julius. We have an Eye Twitch into Dina. Then we get a card draw with Valimire Knight while having a Classical Loctwain. I like it. Alright, Shambling Ghast. I'm okay blocking that with Eye Twitch. That's an instant speed adventure. That's good. I'm starting to wonder if, like, maybe I should have some... So one of the themes is, when I build decks the first time, I build it with no interaction. I just try to do my theme, see how it feels. So... I don't want to give them a treasure token. I have a feeling they have a play that they want to make that they can't because Shambling Ghast is alive. Alright. Well, they had to draw cards. Oh, they could have sacrificed the treasure token. Ah, so they would have gotten a free kill. Got it. Well, they want more treasures. I wonder what they're ramping those treasures into. Alright. We play Dina, and we'll swing in. And that double major, we already have a Zargoth Triumph, so we can't actually use double major later. Wow. That's what they were doing. Got it. Everything makes sense now. Alright, so, awesome. My opponent managed to make Skeletal Swarming a playable card. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. I don't think they could play 3 skeletons in a single turn, but it seems like they have just the Great Treasures, Life Gain Up sort of deck. Or not Life Gain Up, but when a creature dies this turn sort of triggers. Fortunately, if I could get Binding of the Old Gods, I could destroy their Skeletal Swarming, which will... Because I wanted to get Skeletal Swarming working as well, I just couldn't figure out how I was going to do it. Alright, Hooded Blightfane. Not really in position yet. Gonna play that tapped land. So I could set more Witch, then if I draw a land, I could Hood Blightfane and double major it. I like that. And then the double major makes the pest, but... Whew. One of the main issues I'm dealing with right now is... I do not have Binding of the Old Gods. Honestly, Binding of the Old Gods, I have 4 copies of it. It could destroy the Skeletal Swarming and put me back in a good position. I'm going to use the Eye Twitch to block one of the skeletons, I think. Prevent them from swarming any further. They'll probably sacrifice the one I block with Dina so that they could draw a card. So, I have no real qualms there. Alright. Do they have... How big's their party? Just the Rogue? Yep. Let's show them the other Dina. Because I don't really need 2 Dinas. Alright, that's good for me. They have to use their treasure now if they want to get Skeletal Swarm, if they want to sacrifice one of these skeletons, so... They're forced to attack the skeletons. I'm blocking one with the Eye Twitch. Oh, could I? I need to look at... I do have a spell to take care of the skeletal swarming. Containment Breach. Where is it? Right there. So I can Containment Breach and still Foulmire Knight. Alright, so that takes care of that. And whenever this dies, I'm going to gain a life. And yeah, I'll just play an Eye Twitch. Alright. So yeah, even though I'm not... this thing has Menace, but they'll just double block, and I can't kill the one that matters. Alright. Whew. Alright, so they're deadly disputing one of their skeletons. So they, yeah, because they need to draw into their combo pieces. And the Faceless Havens were a bit ambitious, I feel. Snow decks with multicolor is always a little tough. They're trying to draw into a land and Skeletal Swarming is my guess. Either that or they're getting the Faceless Haven. It's triggered. Because of, yeah, 4-3 Faceless Haven, I probably am going to have to block with a Sedgemoor Witch. I'm okay with that. Nothing has Death Touch right now. So, here's the question. Do I still Hooded Blightfang and then just Foulmire Knight? Or do I want to draw cards? I think I want to keep playing. This deck is not going to board clear, and that is the reason why I'm going to just keep applying creatures onto the board. They want to hit the Sedgemoor Witch, they're losing life in the process. It looks like they have a fight spell, by the way they held that up. They have something. Try to think what's in double green like that. Binding. Yep. Best card. Alright. Well, that's okay. If I could get my own binding, I could get myself an advantage here. Oof. Alright, so I could Hooded Blightfang and double major it. Attack, gain 3 life, make them... Oh, that actually loses them 6 life if I do that attack. That means by, yeah, Hooded Blightfang, double major, threatens lethal next turn. Or does it threaten lethal this turn? Yeah, I think it threatens lethal. Not this turn, but they're nearly dead with this play. So now I have 3 Hooded Blightfangs plus Dina. And then I attack with these 2. And we have 6 triggers, which then also trigger this, so he takes 12 damage. Who even needs Binding of the Old Gods? Alright, so I attack with a Hooded Blightfang next turn and I win. Yep, they're triple blocking, because they have to. I'm killing the Skullport Merchant. Let me get to the Skullport. They have to kill... Yeah, they have to Necrotic Fumes and Eye Twitch. That's the only way... Or a Hooded Blightfang. That's the only way they live through this next turn. And even then, I'll just sacrifice a Pest to deal the last point of damage. Unless they have more removal. Because, yeah, I could sacrifice with Dina to get some other triggers. Oof. Well, Hooded Blightfang showed why it's valuable. Hooded Blightfang showed why it's valuable. I do appreciate it, Hooded Blightfang. I do appreciate it. Yeah, if they Faceless Haven, I'm just going to block with an Eye Twitch and the Pest. Keep my creatures, my important creatures alive. So Dina, what jank is happening right now? I believe if you look at it, you can see the deck over on the side. It's a Hooded Blightfang. It's basically a Death Touch trigger deck using Blex. So it has 2 win conditions, which is Blex, Vexing Pest, and these Hooded Blightfangs, which they had to just Necrotic Fumes and use a bunch of removal to kill. Which leaves up the best Death Toucher of all. Because, you know, fairness is not in our vocabulary. That's great. That's great. But yeah, tell me if the Dexter theme works. Over in the right corner of the screen, you should be able to click on it and see the deck itself. Alright, so the first one was a win. Archpriest of Iona. Whew. So I'm planning to play, if I can, I'd like to play 5 games of each. I'm on mobile, I'll check it in a bit on CPU. Alright. Sounds dope, though. Glad to hear. Yeah, this is one of the ones I was very excited for. Oh my gosh, we got another iTwitch into Dina if we want, or we could just go straight into Hunt for Specimens. Alright, I like this hand. But yeah, it's fun. It seems effective so far. We won 1 game, though that was against the Skeletal Swarming deck. So, not sure how much of a... Portable Hole. I mean, sure. Alright, Hunt for Specimens, what do I want? I think I might just grab Environmental Sciences as a safety net, but... I might Basic Conjuration, though. Try to think what I want. I'm going to grab Environmental Sciences as a safety net. We have next turn we can play... We get Environmental Sciences, Swamp, iTwitch, and then we can figure out what we want to do on future turns. Portable Holing and iTwitch. I mean, they don't have a threat to kill. Are they also going to learn Environmental Sciences? Because Environmental Sciences is just a good card. That's why it shows up a lot. Alright, reduce to memory, so I have to be careful when I reveal my Hooded Blightfane. Okay. Get myself a Swamp. I'm wondering if I could fit Malakir Rebirths into this deck, so that as they try to kill Fiends, I have other things I could be doing. Oh! I can Containment Breach and kill the Portable Hole. Alright. Let's see, if I Sedgemoor Witch, they're probably going to reduce it to memory. Oh, well, if they reduce it to memory, that's actually a positive for me at this point. Yeah. I'm going to leave these up so I could double block the Lawnmower Visionary if they throw it in. If they feel the need to reduce this... Okay, Teleportation Circle. Okay. I can reduce one of these to memory. If I attack with a Sedgemoor, they have to double block to kill it, so I'm happy with that. Just trying to think through my play. So I think I Dina, and then So I want to Hunt for Specimens to make more pests, and then Dina to get myself some life when they die. So I'm going to place Hunt for Specimens, get myself a Containment Breach. I cannot play it this turn, but I can play Dina in its place. And I guess I'll hold that one back. It's not really doing anything of value. It's going to be chumped by the 2/2, probably. And if they double block on the Sedgemoor Witch, I am more than happy because it has Menace. They can't block it with just one. Awesome for me. The Sedgemoor Witch got me a pest. That's all I was looking for. If they board clear, I can Containment Breach the Teleportation Circle. I have two Containment Breaches in my sideboard because I knew destroying artifacts and enchantments would be important. I am perfectly fine turning Dina into a 3/2. That's probably going to do as much for me as I need. Alright. So yeah, I can then pop the Teleportation Circle, and they have some combo that they're trying to get to. I do need to pop the Teleportation Circle. If I could get Biome of the Old Gods right now, that would actually be fantastic, because then I could destroy that, get myself ready for the Death Touch combo turn, and yeah, like so many good fiends. I think I still go with this, though. No need for the pests to suicide themselves just yet. If we could find Binding of the Old Gods. So one of the big things is this deck synergizes with Binding of the Old Gods, and I've drawn 0 of them. And that's not appreciated. Alright. I think I'm attacking with all, then I'm just going to play this now if I just don't get a play. Because I have a Castle Locked for a card advantage once the time comes. Yep. That's definitely the play. So I'm just attacking with all here. Force them to make trades and start dealing with this board. And I need to start getting good cards, you know. Nothing at Death Touch, so that's why I waited for now. We now have 2 Hooded Blightfanes. Each of them, when they attack, gains me a bunch of life. We now have 2 Castle Locktwains. They have to Apparition one of the Blightfanes. That's perfectly fine. I can... Oh, I have to... That's where the Teleportation Circle becomes strong. Oh my gosh, I now see the power of that Teleportation Circle. I have to attack with... Yeah, so I just need to destroy these Teleportation Circles, and I only got 1 Contamination Breach, and none of my Binding of the Old Gods. Alright, 1, 2... So this would cost 4 mana total, so I might as well play this first. Let's see. If I attack with Blightfane, it doesn't really do much. They just block with the Lawnmower Visionary and the Charming Prince, and I do not need that block right now. I'm okay with losing the 3-2 and getting a little more damage in. Alright, now I have a Castle Locktwain trigger. They're not going to have discard, so I think I just do this now. I'll do it at the end of turn. I feel like there's like some reason you want to do it at the end of turn, like prevent them from having some look at your hand effect. They are green-white, I just want to, you know, be secure. The ability to Teleportation Circle their Skyclave Apparition is an issue. Thankfully, this is standard, not standard 2022, so I get to Castle Locktwain and be garbage in that moment. Yep, they're gonna probably bounce the Skyclave, try to get themselves more creatures, that sort of stuff. Oh. So they're just drawing a card then. Okay. They are low on cards. It's just they have so much, like, cycling and scrying and stuff that they have other ways of getting there. So, fortunately, Skyclave cannot just eat up the tokens. So once they bounce it, I get a 3-3, which can start swinging in. And if they eat my Eye Twitch, I do get a 1-1, though it's not a good position to be. Blex allows all of my creatures to swing in quite positively. The only one it doesn't buff is Mire Triton and the Illusion if they have it. And yeah, they're at 10 health, so just aggression is a win condition right now. And I appreciate that. Well, they will eat up my Blex with Skyclave immediately after. I have it for a moment, and I appreciate it. Whew. Don't know what their last card is. They haven't made any plays to prove it. They've had Charming Princess to scry, so I feel like if it's a land, they would have played it already. They scryed enough that wouldn't be a land. It's probably a protective spell of some sort. Maybe Heroic Intervention? Who knows? Well, they're stuck in this position. I appreciate it. I'm definitely swinging with Mire Triton if they don't exile it. And if they exile it, I just swing in with a 3-3. Okay, I'm starting to think... So I don't think the opponent's being rude. I think the opponent legitimately... this is an unranked match, so I do believe the opponent just was like, hey, I'm in the middle of this game, and then something happened, I have to go take care of that thing. So I'm not going to blame the opponent for this timeout here. Just... unfortunate. I'm going to use this now. They chose nothing. Yeah, they left. They not here right now. Whew. Alright, Morphine T-Rex. It's a little unfortunate that you disconnected or whatever it is that happened to you, but I need to get back to my games, you know? I'd really appreciate if I didn't spend most of this video, or the stream, just watching you run your time out. I mean, again, if you're just absent because you had to be, I'm not too angry, I'm just kind of annoyed. Let me put it that way. I did want to see what sort of tricks they had up their sleeves. Teleportation Circle's pretty cool. I did want to see what tricks they have up their sleeves. So that's 2 wins. I don't have all rares, obviously, so I'm wondering why it gave me 20 gems instead. I know they have duplication protection. I thought the duplication protection was if you draw a rare that you already have 4 of, it gets you a different rare. If it's just you get a rare you already have 4 of, you get 20 gems. I mean, probably a lot easier, probably a lot faster than the thousands of checks or whatever, but just surprised me. Just surprised me. That's all. Alright. So we have Zargoth Triome into Loctwain. We don't have a fast hand, but I think we keep it anyways because we do have card draw with Foulmire, Iron, Loctwain. We have a Call of the Death Dweller with Blightfane and stuff like that. Like, I think this is still an okay hand, even though, like, most of our deck, I'm pretty sure, is 2 mana. So, we'll draw into that, probably. We now have everything playable. I don't need to worry about Foulmire Knight right now. So, I'm, past the turn. So, the next turn I could probably Hooded Blightfane, just see what I'm playing into. Yeah. Or I can Foulmire Knight and then like end up doing Blightfane double major on a later turn. This is a deck that's going to have board clears. I do have to consider that. They're also going to have creature counter spells. I'm just going to develop the Blightfane now. Probably incorrect, but I don't want to like be sitting with this double major in hand for the rest of my games. I have a Call of the Death Dweller for it, so I could get Menace. I could get Eye Twitch, Menacing Foulmire Knight, Death Touching Eye Twitch. Like, I have options. I think I have enough options that this is the correct play. Force them to interact, or else I start draining them. Attack first. See if they play a creature in response or something like that. Alright. No plays on turn 3. 3 mana open, no plays. That's unlikely. They have something, they're just waiting for it. Prismari command, alright. Creating a treasure token and dealing 2 damage. Alright. Well, I get to learn. Let's see, do I want Environmental Sciences? Do I want Containment Breach? Do I just want Pest Summoning? I think I just want Pest Summoning. If I Containment Breach their artifacts, they'll just treasure them, basically. Containment Breach is safe, so they can't play artifacts or enchantments. But I think this is the Prismari Command sort of deck. And getting the Pests for Binding of the Old Gods is probably more important. Alright. They did that at my end step, so I couldn't actually cast Pest Summoning. Good on them. This is where they play a dragon. 100%. But yeah, the fact that this is a snake so that Blex pumps it up as well is pretty awesome. Alright. So they're definitely the dragon deck. There's a dragon deck that's just a standard theme right now. So they're definitely that. Not sure how I should how that tells me I should respond though. Alright. I'm going to start by attacking. Alright. Just continue with my little life drain. Pet summoning. They saw that coming. And I'll Felmire Knight. I think it's time I play Darkboar Pathway as a swamp, because, like, just looking, 3 forests is more than enough forests for this deck. I don't really care for their artifacts gain a lot of treasures. Yeah, I need to... Exactly, I need to use it on the gold span dragon that comes out after. So I got Binding this gold span, which is very dangerous because they probably have negates and such. But that's why I'm going to attack in first, see if I can pressure them into playing a response. Oof. Because, yeah, this has to be target of a spell, not a spell or ability. So, I can blow this all up as long as they don't have the treasure to negate. Which they might, and that's what it seems like they're doing with this Vardock maneuver. Wait, hold up. I need to look at Vardock. Let me see the card it's mutated with. View mutations, thank you. Alright, so its mutate was 4. I was wondering. I was wondering if they didn't get their mana back with that. Yep. So, okay, so they're this combo deck. There's a Vardock combo deck, and apparently that's what I'm facing. Okay. So now I know what it is. This is a question of, can I kill this Goldspan Dragon? Because if I could kill this Goldspan Dragon, I'm pretty sure they have no tools anymore. Alright. Get Prismari Command. Oh, they get a recast one and... Right, because... So what happens is they have this huge pile on. So every time they get to cast a spell, they get to return a spell to their hand, and they're just going to keep mutating onto this thing, is basically the idea. And these treasures are going to give them enough mana for all these mutations. And they're also going to draw cards so that they could keep this going. So I'm going to try to attack first. 2, 3, 4. I'll have 2 left over. There's nothing I could really do about that. So I just have to attack in. And I just have to play Binding. They're going to have kills for it, I'm certain. But I have to play into the negates. I have to pull the negates out of their deck, basically. I'd be very shocked if they don't have a counterspell for this. Yep. Alright. Well, I forced them to unsubstantiate from them. This is only target creature spell. Okay. So we're applying some damage. They do have all their mana open with the Hyper Gold Span, so I do have to worry about that. Alright. So I kind of have to just watch them play around with this deck, see if they can get their combo off. Pulling out... So they're putting 1 in their hand, they're pulling 2 in their hand, and they're casting 1 for free. Alright. So, again, we just have to kind of wait around, watch all these triggers, see if Gokon can actually pull this off. One of the things about this is that this deck, there's a timer that even if you're taking actions, if your turns take long enough, the timer might trigger, forcing you to actually play, like, forcing you to end your turn, to force you to move at a certain speed. We could win just from that alone. I don't like winning from that and that alone, but we can. Alright. Deal 4 more damage, create a treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am starting to threaten more and more. Play another swamp. Ooh. Hey, Kraken Style, how's it going? Hope your session 1 went well. I'm dealing with an opponent that unfortunately is pretty slow. They have basically full control, but I do want to see if they can make a mistake and I can make my way through this. So I am playing through, but they have this Goldspan Dragon here that has all these mutations on it. So whenever they touch this card, they get treasures. They bounce all of their. They do all these bounce triggers. They do a bunch of stuff whenever. These treasures, basically they have 12 mana open. Which is ridiculous. Glad to hear it was awesome. Glad to hear it was awesome. The problem right now is we're just dealing with slow players. Biome of the Old Gods is probably going to get unsubstantiated, and then I'll call the Death Dweller. Can you unsubstantiate that as well? Bring back my Foulmire Knight and my Eye Twitch. Yep, forcing to unsubstantiate. And here's the other card that you need to unsubstantiate. Alright. And one will give me a 1/1 Flying Death Toucher. This thing does have first strike, so that doesn't help me. But I do have some things in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have some other things that can help me. Teach you other kicks, will draw me cards, stuff like that. So they have to unsubstantiate this. Yep. So yeah, this is basically the issue. They have a bunch of counterspells, and they have a bunch of other stuff like that. That as long as they keep spending and keep this synergy going, they will eventually just get to a point where they counter every single spell. They wipe my board, and they counter every single spell I play. The thing is, I need to force them into a point. I need to make sure they can't reach that point because they don't have the plays to make. Or, in this case, their timer runs low. Don't really like that that's my win condition, run them out of time, but that's what this guy is doing. First session was chaotic, as many should be. Alright, 2 Goldspan Dragons, I don't see how I come out. I'm going to keep playing, as I said, but we're just running out of options. We're just running out of options very quickly. They only have 3 cards, though, so if they Biome of the Old Gods unsubstantiate, I could just Binding of the Old Gods again to counter. Chaotic, but amazing. Always how sessions should go. Alright, so they got rid of their Fire Prophecy. This Hooded Blightfane seems to be something they don't actually have a response to, which is very nice. And if I ever land Binding of the Old Gods on this 4/4 here, then I get... if I ever land Binding of the Old Gods on this Goldspan Dragon, I think I win the game. But I need to land it on that Goldspan Dragon before they get their Seize the Spoils trigger, which they might have just got. Yep, they just got it. Alright. I'm back. They're back in the driver's seat. So this is going to trigger a bunch of things, and basically they have enough timer for it to work for them, that they're going to cast 2 spells for free, and then get 2 spells into their hand. And there's nothing I could really do about it. So they're going to unsubstantiate my Hooded Blightfane, because of course. They're going to probably burn away one of my skeletons, and they're going to put both unsubstantiates into their hand. Alright, so they took a Seize the Spoils to draw them more cards. Makes sense. But yeah. Alright, so they cast 2 Seize the Spoils, and they're also going to get unsubstantiates in their hand. Alright. Discard the Spike-Filled Hazard. They have 8 mana and 2 dragons in play. Oof. Just trying to figure out my way through. I'm not sure there is, but I'm going to keep playing it through just to confirm. Every moment makes it less and less likely. They have 2 unsubstantiates, so if I have Binding of the Old Gods, I actually lose. But I can Blex, then Blex double major, and that might actually let me in. So if I draw Blex here, I think I can win the game. but I need to draw precisely Blex. Wow, Spikefield hazards my face. Do they have a win condition with that? That they chose my face instead of the pests? Because, again, Blex wins... Ah. I see. So I think their plan is they're going to try to recast Spikefield Hazard 3 times. So they went through a third of their deck. Okay, so they went through half their deck, got 3 Goldspan Dragons, and 3 Varduks. So I'm going to say they got a bit lucky. This is very much... I will not deny this is a powerful deck. They could have made better plays to probably have locked me out, but I'm going to note that there is some luck here, and just accept it as it is. Triple Prismari Command. Prismari Command deals 2 damage to any target. Okay. I'm not going to wait for you to try to get these triggers ordered. I think I figured out the issue. Let's get on to the next game. So they had 6 mana loaded up. They had 6 damage loaded up against me. I had 3 health. So, not going to worry about that. We're at 2-1 now. So we can't beat the Goldspan Dragon deck. But that's perfectly fine. That's something I can accept. This deck, I just want it to be fun and playable. And like, I think that could actually do better against the Goldspan Dragon deck. Like, if the Binding ever lands. You know, if the Binding ever lands, then that Goldspan Dragon deck gets taken. But I should note that, yeah, I have not cast Blex yet. I have not successfully cast Binding yet. And those are my 2 power cards for this deck, so kind of sucky. Alright, so opponent goes first. I do have amazing 4-drops if I can reach them. I have 3 draws out of land. Yeah, I have 3 draws out of land. If I didn't have 3 draws out of land, I wouldn't take this. But yeah, I get to do this. I get to play Mire Triton. I get to Eye Twitch. And the Eye Twitch actually allows me to like learn for environmental sciences. So, and like look at this hand. If I could get that, if I could get those lands, this. Well, there's the lands. This hand is amazing if I could get the lands, and they don't go off the bottom of my deck. Yorion. We're facing a Yorion deck. This is not good. We need to apply pressure now, just because they will wreck us if we don't. Alright. Use this, grab Environmental Sciences. I don't appreciate that that was my turn, but sometimes your turn is that. So then I'm going to Environmental Sciences, get a Swamp, Eye Twitch, and then on a future turn I could Blex. All these creatures in play are going to be pests, snakes, bats, or the other things that Blex cares about. Yasharn comes into play. I can hope if I draw another land, I can Binding that. Alright. So do I Blex or do I Environmental Sciences, Swamp, Eye Twitch? I think I like this better because it guarantees. Yeah, I like this slightly better because it guarantees. So they get 1 attack with Yasharn. And then I play this, Binding of the Old Gods, the Yasharn, and start applying pressure again. Then I'll have a Questing Beast. I can double Major Blex. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. I think I'm going to enjoy the position I'm going to be in. I'm happy to see that's not a Yorion super counter deck. At least I have that on my side. I think I actually let go of the Questing Beast. I'm actually going to let go of the Questing Beast. I don't care if their acquisitions expert attacks me. If they play Yorion, I can Binding next turn as well. I'll probably have to let go of my Blightfang, but the double majored Blex is probably going to be enough power that even without the Blightfang combo, I'll be fine. So yeah, the question is just, do I want to do... Ooh, there we are. Okay. So they can flash out a fight. They can use their treasure token to force a fight with Blue Kronos. Which is very strong for them. Yeah, I'm going to let go of the Blightfane. Look for a double major Blex. Alright. And it always comes to play tapped, so you just always grab the Zargoth Triumph with this. Alright. Second binding. They have 9 enough cards to bring out their Pelucranos. But the Yorion with the Acquisitions Expert is going to be a little concerning. The Yorion plus Charming Prince combo is actually quite devastating. I do want to binding combo. I just need to figure out how I'm going to pull this off. So let's see if the Yorion. Yeah. Let's see. I actually need to bounce the Charming Prince. Not the place I want to be, but it's where I am. Or I mean, I have to destroy the Charming Prince. This thing doesn't have Sneaky Reach. Yep. Nope. Alright, so next turn they do the Yorion trick. So they're going to deal 6 damage, do the Yorion trick, and then I'm going to Blex double major it, attack for 6, and just keep trying to apply pressure. Alright. I really don't like this position, but there's not much I could have gotten out of this. Yorion decks are always annoying. Just something I have to deal with. Probably going to be 2-2 because Yorion deck didn't... Like, even with the bindings, if you get the right cards... They're not playing Yorion. They're not playing Yorion. Interesting. Wow. Alright, let's get ourselves the last Triumph, because one's in the grave. Come on, come on, let me grab it. Alright, so we have a little 1/1 Flying Death Toucher. Yeah, I think we just go with the Blex double major play. Gonna gain us a lot of life. Very least. Gonna turn this Eye Twitch to a 3/3. And then we have 2 4/3s Blexes, which is pretty nice. So we have some synergy. Not exactly how I want it against Pelucranos and such. As I keep getting rid of their threats, they have more triggers for the escape cost for Pelucranos. They have a lot of lands. Alright, so they're fighting a Blex. I gain 4 life off of it. And they now just have a 1/1 Pelucranos. Which I'm gonna oh, they're going to Yorion to bring it back as a... Got it. They can't target Blex because that's a token. So they're going to eat my Eye Twitch. This is really bad for me. Just so everyone knows, this is probably almost in every way worst case. Guess we search for Blex, look for some win conditions. But definitely not in a good spot. Alright, so I guess I'm just dumping my hand. Either that, or I Mire Triton, and then search for Blex. But I think... Gosh, freaking love Struck Beast, man. Just so hard to deal with. Because it's a 5/5 for 3. Like, even if it can't attack, the fact that it can also block, that can block even if it doesn't have that trigger. I'm gonna no attack. I just run it into the... Oh, it had Death Touch. It still would just run into the Love Struck Beast. So now Yorion comes into play, they get Super Pelucranos, and they start fighting again. Not much I can do. Not much I can do. So 2-2, it looks like we're about to be. Does this deck need to be more aggressive? So there's a thing, I do enjoy mid-range decks, so I always build towards mid-range decks, even when I shouldn't. They're still not playing Yorion, but it doesn't matter because I'm so far behind. Alright. I'm gonna tap Locked Wayne. Great. Appreciated. Might as well play it. Still a creature. Still something on board. I feel like this... Yeah, this one is just... I'm dealing with a Yorion deck. I now see why people dislike Yorion decks. This is a not complete deck. I knew that this was standard Jank. This is not standard best of the best. This is standard Jank. So whenever you face Yorion, whenever you face the just really good stuff, only so much you can do. I'm okay. I have to accept that. Well, they took mine. And there goes the rest of it. So yeah, Plukernoos comes back as a 6/6, the Skyclaves. I think I'm just going to concede to save us time this time. They're at 14 health. They have all the triggers they need to take care of stuff. They'll be reanimating Yasharn, gain all the lands out of their deck. They have a Castle Locktwain. Yeah. I'm going to just let this turn resolve, see what we draw. And if from what we draw, I find something worth grabbing. I'll stay in, but... Oh! They could bounce Elspeth Conquers Death as well? Yeah. I forgot that this does non-creatures as well. Well, I have a feeling that that's all. Trying to think what we can grab. They're not going to let me through. They'll just fight it with Plukernoos. They're in absolute board control. I'm not going to waste time playing through that again. Alright, 2-2. One more game, and then we'll see whether we win or lose. Whether this... So 2-2. It seems like, yeah. So this deck is not standard... Is not high... It's not tier 1. It's not tier 2. But, I mean, Blex... It looked like a fun deck. It seemed like it could pull off what it wants to pull off, which is appreciated. Very much appreciated. Alright, so I go first. I have none of my 2-drops. But if I get a 3-drop, I could get Sedgemoor. Then I could get one more land for questing. I have to mulligan this. Alright. I'm going to throw back the double major. So, let's grab... I think I could go Forest, Swamp, Mire Triton, then Locktwain, Hooded Blightfane. I like that. I like that. Alright. I twitch. Someone of good taste, I see. There's my lands. Oh well. I appreciate your attack. Allows my Mire Triton in. And yes, my Mire Triton is... Oh. Now it's not. Alright. So now instead I'm going to Dina. And I'm going to I-Twitch myself. I'm okay trading a learn for a learn. Alright, they're only attacking with one. I can attack with both next turn. If we learn, what will we even take? Yeah, I'm going to wait to learn. See what it is my opponent's doing. See what it is I need to be doing. There we go. Okay, so now here's the important part. We get this trigger with me on the side that gets to choose order. So, like, if they have 3 mana left open, they're not doing anything with it. Alright. They grabbed Environmental Sciences to help them with land drops. And I can grab Teaching of the Archaics if I'm really ambitious. I think I just grabbed Basic Conjuration. This is a tough one, honestly. Pest summoning is the safest bet. But yeah, I would definitely like to learn again later. And, like, there's one that was Enchantment Destruction. The highest mana value amongst creatures are planeswalkers they control. Alright. Do I want to lose Dina or Mire Trident? I think I actually would rather lose Dina. No. They have Eye Twitch to stop me. I'll lose the Mire Trident. Alright. Whatever. Second Soul Shatter. Okay. Well, they're Soul Shattering my 2-drops. Like, they're paying 3 mana to deal 2 damage. I am happy with those trades. Yeah. I think I attack. They do get a trade, but I gain life. I wipe their boards cleaned off so they can't Necrotic Fume something. Let's see what they learn so we can get a sense of what my opponent's doing. Mascot Exhibition? You have 3 lands, and your mana ruined. So you have 4 mana. You have 4 lands total once you play this. I'm not so sure about this opponent. I mean, I accept it, but I'm not so sure about this. Got another kill spell? Mortality Spear. Nice. I'm thinking about adding Mortality Spears to this deck. Alright. Unfortunately, did not have the mana for that. And if I could get one of my Triomes, then I could hunt for specimens, Teaching of the Archaics, which is pretty great. Skeleton deck. I see. I'm going to keep applying a little pressure. But yeah, that means they're looking for Skeletal Swarming, which means my ability to go learn for Containment Breach is a very good thing. Kind of annoyed that it tapped like that. So I'm gonna Foulmire Knight, because that way I could surprise them with the hunt for specimens Skeletal Swarming, or Containment Breach on the Skeletal Swarming, because they're hoping to get their 5 mana now, which allows them to get to that skeletons. This goes from your graveyard to the top of your library, which makes this card weak enough that I'm perfectly happy trading my Foulmire Knight for it. No plays, no land drops. I can't double major it, but I think this is a good play. Yeah, it's pretty hard for this not to be a good play. Because here's the big thing about Questing Beast. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, which, fantastic on my part. So yeah, if they start putting that on top of their library, that's actually a positive for me as far as I care. Alright. I am so confident that they're going to have our effective enchantment that I'm just grabbing Containment Breach right now. Yep. Do I cast a Locked Wing just to draw a card, even though it's, mana ruined? I think I attack first, no matter what. If they have a board clear sort of effect, like, yep. Expected, yeah, they had a single target removal. That's what this opponent has shown me that they do. Alright. I won't Dina yet. Ugh. Oh well. I would appreciate a swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're starting to get close to Mascot Exhibition, which is not good for me. There's the Skeletal Swarming. Knew it was coming. That's why I grabbed the Containment Breach. Alright. And yeah, the double major being stuck in my hand kind of sucks. But, like, I think this is still perfectly fine. Go right ahead. You can deal the 1 damage. I'm not going to block. One, two, three, four, five, six. Go out in the snow. So I can, in response, sacrifice these, gain the life triggers while they are, while Dina's still in play. Okay. Where are they going to bring back? Like, I feel like they don't have anything worth bringing back. Moss Pit Skeleton? Yeah, you do that. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, I'm going to get my own mascot exhibition. Do you have a second blood in the snow? Because that's what you're going to need. You have your own mascot exhibition. That's very nice. Still can't double major this. But I think this is the right play to just play it and swing in. Because they're at such low health. Alright. Because they have to block the Questing Beast. But then how do they block the 4-4? Because the 4-4 needs to be blocked. One of the flyers needs to be blocked, so yeah, that trade has to occur. They're taking 1 damage still. So they have to trade like that, and they lose their board, and I still have the 4-4. And so this way now, it looks like I'm holding up a threat, and then I can still tap the mana to just draw a card at the end of the turn. Alright, so they have a Faceless Haven trigger. But they probably want to use that... Okay. I was going to say use it defensively. You've already seen 2 Questing Beasts. But, if you want to deal some damage, be my guest. We're going to attack first. Force them to jump trade, and then I could get something with... I could get a spell with Sedgemoor Witch. Just gotta figure out which spell I want. So let's see what they're learning. Do they really have a second Mass Expedition? I would not be surprised if they do, honestly. Alright, they just have Pest Summoning. Yeah, I'm gonna basic Conjuration, get myself another creature. And get myself some life in the process. Alright, and Sedgemoor Witch having Menace is actually really huge here. Alright. Of the 2, I like the Hooded Blightfang. And I can even play it. Awesome. Alright. Well, the 2 pests actually prevents my lethal. The Hooded Blightfang keeps me safe from Crippling Fear. And the Hooded Blightfang still deals 1 damage, even... like, the pest will gain them a life, but then they lose a life from the Hooded Blightfang, so it's a net positive swing for me. Alright. 3-2. We got 3-2 with this deck. So, what that means is that, of general decks, I think, this deck is actually strong enough. We never did get the combo, though. We never did get, a Binding of the Old Gods trigger. Blex, every time we got to play them, they got killed. I will not deny there were some issues, but overall this deck performed. And that's good enough in my mind. The Questing Beast definitely did more work. We might need to ramp that up to 3. Sedgemoor, honestly, even though there's not many spells in this deck, the learn cards, because every learn is a sorcery, that was very effective. So, I still like this deck. I recognize, obviously, not tier 1, this is jank. This is jank time, alright? But this is jank that I enjoy. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you find your kind of stupid deck you enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful day. Alright. So now time to get to our next deck. So for everyone watching right now on Twitch, I'm making these into YouTube videos as well. So now I need to figure out which of these decks I want to do. Ooh, Enchanted Flowers. So really quick, I need to go to decks and export this over onto Stream Decker so that you guys can follow along. Alright. And, yep, set as current. Awesome. So hopefully that will shift around Stream Decker for you guys. So we can show you that in a bit. Show you that once as we're going. So now we switch out the decks. Alright. I'm going to take a deep breath and then we'll get into this. Okay, hold up. I need to deal with the lands. I'm going to... Where's the special planes? Because we have access to all planes, I need to grab this one. And we bring this to 9. And this we drag out. Awesome. Just want to change the planes color. Just... They need to be... I had to fix these up, and I did not grab the same looking ones, so that was a bit of an issue. Alright. Hey everyone, welcome back. So we have, so just so you know, there's a midweek Magic right now. It's about to end, so I need to get a deck ready in time. So we have all these decks that I want to play, and we just played some Deadly Blacks. So now I'm doing this Enchanted Flowers deck. So, just so I can show you what the deck does, generally, this is a deck about the Setessan Champion, basically being a lot of card advantage, along with some good land drop triggers. I'm missing a land drop trigger. Okay, I'll fix that later. Right now I'm going to play the deck as is, and then I'll fix it up. But, so basically, the idea is most of our cards are enchantments that also do additional effects. Some of them create creatures. We have 2 of the best constellation triggers, Archons of Sun's Grace, as well as Setessan Champions. And then, so let's talk about enchantments real fast. So we have Birth of Meletis to help get some stuff going with the sagas. We have Ranger class, which is just a 2/2 wolf, and then it's also an enchantment. And then also it has some ramping, it becomes a sparring regimen later on, which allows us to just keep applying pressure. I chose to put 3 Search of Greatnesses in this deck. And so the reason that Search of Greatness works, in my mind, is that in Search of Greatness, I think it works if you have a use for that Scry 1 trigger, and if you have a way to draw cards. So the fact that I could have Ranger class, then in Search of Greatness, immediately get out a free Setessan Champion, then play the enchantment. Then, while that's going, then if that enchantment stays and they kill the Setessan, I can then play a free Archon, then get Feldar Retreat or something like that. The fact that I could play a Constellation creature followed by an enchantment in the same turn, I think makes Search of Greatness great. And the ability to scry, I think, is good enough. An enchantment that just lets us scry 1 should be good enough for this deck. So then, for the theme, we ramp up. We have these 2-drops that then gets to our 3-drops. I just chose to put 3 removal because, of course, removal's fine. And the fact that it's enchantment is just better. At 4, we have the Archons, but I also have 2 Planeswalkers. So Grandmaster of Flowers, as you know, eventually becomes a win condition if they don't deal with it. Basically, every card in this deck basically says, hey, you have to kind of deal with it in some way. It's 2-drops, and then it's cards that you have to deal with. So it could get us our 1 Monk of the Open Hand, because sometimes, yeah, you may cast it without its mana cost, so we can actually start casting spells early with In Search of Greatness. And, so we only have 1 Monk. We didn't need more than 1, I don't think. Other than that, just this ability to tap down and just become a 7/7 indestructible flyer at the end is awesome. This can get us, this is basically his +1 draw card, -3 exile permanent. Like, that's pretty awesome. But it also has a -7, which I think we might be able to hit here. So, we have, for single 5-drops, 2 Elspeth Conqueror's Deaths. Hopefully the Setessan Champions could draw us into these. I will mess with this deck. There is a card In Search of Glory that I'm interested in getting if that possibly helps us. But it's a removal spell. Then it holds down my opponent for a turn. And then it returns a creature or planeswalker with an additional loyalty counter on it. Now, if I can have Elspeth Conqueror's Death, get that first trigger, then before the second trigger comes in, because that's on its main phase, where this is on the upkeep, I can then freely cast Vorinclex, get a 6/6 Trampler, put twice as many counters. That goes from level 1 all the way to level 3 immediately. Returns a Planeswalker. Let's say we do Calyx. It has additional loyalty. This is a 10 loyalty Calyx. Elspeth Conqueror's Death goes down. I immediately -7 Calyx. Get all my enchantments back from the grave. including Elspeth Sonker's death, which then next turn brings back Grandmaster Flowers, which will come into play with an additional loyalty counter, and then all of it's doubled. So this will come into play with 8 loyalty counters, and that should win us. And if that combo doesn't win us the game, we have much greater issues. I also put 3 sparring regimens just so I could get some stuff in the sideboard. Academic Probation just so I could do like Shadow's Verdict, name some removal cards that I need to deal with, perhaps even a Yorion for a turn. Reduce the Memory, of course, removal. Basic Conjuration, get me one of my creatures. Prophecy, Annihilation, and Mascot Exhibition. Yeah, just not really much consideration. Sideboard, this is all going to be best of 1. I wasn't really worried. I might just rip out the Sparring Regimen for the In Search for Glory, because Search for Glory could get me Sagas, Legendary Creatures, or Planeswalkers, which is good enough. I can then switch out all my lands for snow lands, so it will gain me 3 life in the process. So I think there are ways that this can work still. So we get the Monk of the Open Hand, which is perfectly fine, actually. So we could play it, then Birth of Meletis, then Banishing Light, then Calyx. Like, we still have a good curve, even though Monk of the Open Hand is just going to be a 1/1. It's still a card, and that's good enough for me. Alright. So they did have to mulligan, so we got a little lucky there. Whew. Ex Maximus. Oh, was gained water as they decided to give the priority back. Alright. Ooh, Monk with the Open Hand's not going to trigger much, but I'm okay with that. I just wanted to see it. But yeah, so I chose 2 decks that I haven't seen, but I was pretty confident in their play. Depending on what I feel, I might go... I have 2 decks that are just literally... they're variations of what already exists, like, competitively. So I'm not, like, worried about those ones seeing play. And... so I have those if I'm starting to get bummed out by the people I'm facing. Otherwise, I have some extra janky decks that are just such jank that I decided they're not really going to win me games. I probably should avoid them. So, alright, so if they play a card here, I get a Banishing Light it. Oh, they have a Tybalt's Trickery deck. Alright, well, hopefully whatever they get, I can Banishing Light. That might just be a good game. Yep. Alright, I'm not even sure if I count that as a win, because that was their deck failing, not my deck succeeding. That might just be ignored in the grand scheme of things. That was a good curve. And it even had a Banishing Light if they got something, so... I wasn't even in a bad spot, I feel. Okay, I'm going to count that as a win because I wasn't even in a bad spot. There, that's my argument. Alright, so we have a Dryad. It's going to suck that my turn 3 is my first play. But I think with double Archon with... I think I trust my deck well enough. Whoa. Is this an... okay, I feel like this is another Tybalt's Trickery deck. They just mulliganed 3 times and then killed themselves. That one I'm not counting as a win. That one I'm definitely not counting as a win. That one is just me dealing with Tybalt's Trickery. So it makes sense. Tybalt's Trickery is a deck where you just get free wins, or you know you've lost, so you can just concede. So if you're trying to get your wins for the arena, so you get gold whenever you win. So if you just build a Tybalt's Trickery deck, and you could get 15 wins in like 30 minutes. Because the games are just so fast. I hope that's not the entire format right now. So I've got myself 1-0. Alright, we have a branch off pathway into a Ranger class, into either upgraded Ranger class, or just another Ranger class, depending on how they deal with the creature. Alright. I play the Plains first over the pathway. I don't have any special theme that requires me to have a basic land in my hand, so... Alright. I might play the In Search of Greatness. Great. Perfect. I'll block. Alright. If I In Search of Greatness, it just scries. If I level this up, I can attack and keep my creature big enough. Then next turn I can Archon and hopefully get myself back into this game. Because I am definitely behind in this game now. Or I could just Ranger class, next turn Archon into I'm trying to figure out my best play. I'm gonna level this up. Because here's the thing, this allows me to Archon and find some other solutions, basically. Because if I play Ranger class, if I manage to play Ranger class in Search of Greatness next turn, then I can get 2 additional Pegasi while also getting a Wolf. So I can actually get enough pressure. Alright, so they're Skyclaving my Ranger class. I'm actually okay with that, because they didn't Skyclave my Archon. Alright. Plains. Archon. I'm gonna end my turn there, but yeah, this is white aggro. It went Alseid into Luminarch into Skyclave. This is their curve. This is the curve. Even with a second Skyclave, just to rub dirt in the wound. Yep. Fortunately, they could only attack with the Alseid, but unfortunately, we're in a very bad spot. I think I still play the Archon, because if I could land the Archon, I can Birth of Meletis, Plains, Ranger, Search for Greatness, and get myself back in, I think. So, this is my way back in the game as long as they don't have another Skyclave. They'd have to have a third Skyclave. They've already had near perfect hand. They're probably taking the Ranger class. That's okay. That's okay. Yep, they're turning that into a 5/5. I'm not blocking it. No idea what they have in mind, but I'm gonna see it. What? They just realized that they couldn't deal with the Archon, and were like, okay, they're about to get 4 flying Pegasi. I actually won that because I was about to get 4 flying Pegasi, and they realized they couldn't do anything about it. Oh my gosh. Because they actually ran out. I actually held them off with the Archons. The double Archons allowed me to hold them off. Oh my gosh. Didn't get to play Search for Greatness, but doesn't really matter. Alright. This deck's working a lot better than the previous one. Alright. That's 2-0, guys. That's 2-0. And yes, I do count that first game with Tybalt, because I could have just Banishing Lighted whatever they got. And what? They get Valky, they +2. Who knows? They might get something that sucks, you know. Alright. So I do have the possibility of Forest into another Forest for Search of Greatness, but then I can't Cave of the Frost Dragon. I think I still play the Forest first, because I think In Search for Greatness into In Search of Greatness is perfectly fine with Cave of the Frost Dragon a later turn. Because then, yeah, I get to freely play Sparring Regimen, or Dried of the Lycian Growth into Sparring Regimen. Oh, when it comes to play, I can learn, and then I think if I have something on my sideboard that costs 4 mana, yeah, I don't have any lessons that cost 4 mana, but that would have been cool, because then I get a, yeah, I get to do some things. Alright. My guess is they're a Winota deck. I know that's so ambitious to say from just seeing a Scry land, but red-white is usually aggressive, and this is the least aggressive of the land types. Alright. Second Sparring Regimen was very concerning to see. Okay, they're not. This is very concerning. We need to draw a land here. Oh. Okay, so they're playing the equipment deck. They're doing their own little ambitious thing. I hope I could get lands so that I can actually see their deck versus mine sort of thing. I'm mean, I'm not going to be playing Vorinclex. That sucked. So we got 3 draws out of land, and we did not make... We got, let's see, 1 draw, 2 draw... Yeah, 3 draws out of land, and we did not make it. And we didn't even get one of our 2 drops. We have how many 2 drops? Okay, so we have these 2 drops, but they don't really work. Yep. I think they might just win next turn because of this tempo that they've acquired, even if I draw my land here. Alright. Dread of the Elysian Grove doesn't even really help me. I mean, it gives me a blocker. I might next turn have to use the Dryads to double and search for greatness to try to just get ourselves our curve out, because I can... Yeah, because I can Feldar retreat into Elspeth Conquers Death and get myself back in this game. Yep, they look for Helvar. Not surprised in the slightest. I have a feeling they're going to be playing Halvar. Oh! Alright. So as Vigilance, they're going to probably attack for 5 with this guy. I can't stop it. And I don't want to stop it. Okay, so I can double... If I could draw a land here, I could double and search for greatness. Spartan Regiment, Feldar Retreat. Environmental Sciences for the other Spartan Regiment, Elspeth Conquers Death in a future turn. Okay, so I have... If I could draw a land here, I think I have a way back into this game. But it's not a fun way. This is not fun. It requires me to draw a land. And that's a tap land. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Okay, so if I Spartan Regiment attack, let's see. You may unattach equipment from a creature, it gains untap it and gains indestructible. So I cannot Spartan Regiment attack. If they do, they will sacrifice their treasure, make this invincible, and then I lose. So this sucks, but I have to search for greatness with Dryad of the Elysian Grove so that I can Feldar Retreat next turn. So that I can hopefully draw a land to, get myself in this game. The fact that every single play this turn, this game has been, alright, I'm playing this to hopefully get myself back in the game, really tells you how bad of a position I am right now. But the fact that I keep feeling like I am just that inch away from getting back in this game also tells you that this is not a bad deck. At least not in my mind. So it has to be another permanent, so if they kill my Elysian Grove, I'm gone. But if they don't... I get an Elspeth, and then I get a Scry. Did we just die? Yeah, I think we're out. Yep. I can't think of how we come back from this. So let's see. If I block with Dryad of the Elysian Growth on this, I Scry 1 and I lose the game. If I don't block, I take 9 damage and I lose the game. I'm going to play for this because at least this lets me Veldar retreat and possibly find some sort of win condition. But yeah, we just did not draw our lands. And like I found a few ways where if we didn't stumble, we could have come back, but... Alright. Yep. So we get free Feldar retreat. That doesn't exactly help us here. Wait, is that 5 mana? Wait, that's 5 mana. Exile them all of the Skyclaves. I'm still alive. Alright. Now, they're very close to killing me again. Not going to deny that, but I'm alive technically. We have a Vorinclex in the grave for Elspeth to give us back. And they just had a second Maul of the Skyclaves. Okay. Okay. We didn't get our lands. We actually played to our outs and almost got to our outs. I'm going to be happy with my decision. Alright, and then they just unequip the blade. They give it indestructible. Oh, even better. Alright. 2-1. 2-1. And that was... I'm saying that is due to land screw. That was due to me not getting my lands. Alright. So, another thing, I might need to switch out some of my cards. There's a 2-mana 1/3 that whenever I play an enchantment, it gets me a land. It does the Quandrix Apprentice thing of getting me lands. I might have to remove some cards to put that in. But I'm not sure which ones just yet. Alright. Cave of Frost Dragon, Cave of the Frost Dragon, Birth. That's a curve. That's a curve. We only have the whites out of our deck, so only having plains doesn't really matter. We have the curve all the way into Archon of Sun's Grace, into Elspeth Conquers Death. So we actually have a curve, despite not having our color. Which is hilariously fantastic. Alright. We keep moving. Birth of Meletis. Are they holding up a counter? No, they're holding up a Brazen Borrower. They're holding up a counter spell! Yeah. Best of one, it's hard to, like, declare, I am running Negate. I am running a card that can be countered like this. Wow. They actually just flat run Negate in a best of one format. Alright. So I can Monk Banishing Light, or I could just Archon of Sun's Grace, then Monk Banishing Light. Yeah. This gives them a threat they have to deal with. And the next turn I remove their threat and build another threat they have to deal with. And then I Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright, so they managed to deal with that one. Alright, so they spent all their mana for Telling. This is whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability? No, just a spell. Okay, cool. Alright, we banish the Bone Crusher. If I draw a cheap enchantment, I can Zetessan and play it. If I draw a forest, I can Vorinclex. Otherwise, I can get Elspeths pretty soon. Alright, I have Elspeths on the Bone Crusher, actually. But is it better to just Vorinclex? There is the question. Elspeth gives me my Archon. They're a control deck of some sort. But yeah, this will allow me to Vorinclex with their mana kind of thinned thanks to Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so here's the question. Do I Birth of Meletis, or do I just Vorinclex and swing in? Alright, I like Vorinclex swing, because then I can pull out my Archon of Sun's Grace, Zetessan, and then Birth. Yeah, I like that. This is a safe Vorinclex. If they kill it, I just bring it back with Elspeth Conquers Death as a much bigger creature, like as an 8/8. Alright. Archon of Sun's Grace, easy. And yeah, we're going to play this before we super commit. Alright, so we kind of got the combo. That's 3 wins, guys. That's a much faster deck. That's 3-1. Alright, I'm going to play to my 5th game now. Because I do want to see these decks more in action, but I think I have to limit to 5 games so that I could actually get to the next game. But, yeah, sometimes when you get those decks where it's like, you know, Tybalt's Trickery, where what you did didn't matter, what they did is what mattered. Alright, Lair of the Hydra, Cave of the Frost Dragon, Ranger class. Into Forest, Ranger class. Oh my gosh, we're facing another Tybalt's Trickery deck. Yep. I wonder why they mulliganed into 4. I wonder if there was a reason. Alright. Now we have Cave of the Frost Dragon, Ranger class, and Alright, they don't have red mana. They don't have red mana, and they spread both to the bottom. Alright. I think we just apply pressure. Does putting the +1/+1 counters apply more pressure? Or... I think the second Ranger class applies more pressure, because then I could Search of Greatness level up. Start by attacking. Alright. So yeah, this, even though you see these cards which are not Tibalt alt colors, this is still very much a Tibalt deck, I'm certain. Alright, I'm going to level one of them up. I'm going to play in Search for Greatness, show them that I'm a cool dude. Alright, and now if they get something off of that, okay, decline, and then I get Scry. Awesome! Another Ranger class sounds great, honestly. Yep. Get this one to level 2. Put one here, and one here. Yep. There you go. Alright. 4-1. A lot of them were Tibalt decks, which feels a little unfortunate that that's how we went, but... You know what? No, I'm counting that as half a win. That was... They played 2 lands. They played 2 lands. I'm counting that as half a win. And we got 3 Ranger classes. Oof. I feel like I should have my Dryad of the Elysian Groves and grab the Nissian Wayfarers, or whatever the theme that gets you the lands are. Because that will give me a... Because, like, I'm not committed to that strat. It's a secondary strat I can use. Alright. So I can Lair of the Hydra, Birth of Meletis. The next turn I can Search for Greatness. And if I draw a 3-drop, it's free. Like that. So let's see. Otherwise, I can Search for Greatness. Dryad. No. I like this better. Just slightly. Because I could play the Dryad for free still. Oof. Alright. Good dough. I have no read on what they are yet, because they're not mono-green. Red, blue, Alright. I'm gonna grab the and Search for Greatness, I think. Yeah, because now that gets me a free Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Or I could just decline, scry 1 with that, and get myself more Archon triggers. Oh, okay, we now know what it is. I think this only counts as 1 tap, so that's only 2 mana here. 1 additional mana from Jespar Sentinel, not 2 additional mana. But that's scary. Let's just be clear, that's scary. Yeah, so I think I just want to scry with In Search of Greatness, look for better plays, and then I can Archon. Yep. See, they only got 2 mana. Good. Alright. Crossbow Innkeeper. So they're ramping to something. They're getting a lot of liking and such process. I'm a decline. If I could double Birth of Meletis, but I think that's just not... That's not winning me the game. I already have a Birth. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to get rid of Kenyan right now. There we are. Even if they kill that, I get a Scry 1, I get a Dryad. And the Dryad will allow me to get a free Archon, which will get me... yeah. And if they're tapping a Jespara Sentinel for mana this turn, then they actually can't target Calyx, which will allow me to play my mana appropriately. I think actually, yeah, I do still cast Dryad with In Search of Greatness if I... oh, I don't have the option because Calyx. Alright. So that's how they plan to get through. Okay. So I do have to use In Search of Greatness just to scry here, but that's fine. Don't need more lands. Alright. I think I'd rather have white. And I'm going to play the Archon for now. Next turn I could Dryad, Birth of Meletis, land. Then if I manage to grab an Elspeth's, Elspeth Conquers Death will have to splash into Vorinclex. I actually do have the combo. And it does grab at least a Birth of Meletis, though nothing more. Oof. Oh boy, so that's what they were getting to. I definitely knew getting rid of the Killian was very important. I just didn't realize how important. We might just lose the game if they get good stuff here. Well, that looks like good stuff. Yeah, that looks like good stuff. Let's see, if I get... I guess I have to target a Coma if I get Elspeth Conquers Death. Ugh. I might still be able to get back in this game if I get the... if I top deck Elspeth Conquers Death. I think I could get back to this game. I do have a scry for it. But, like, that's the only way I'm getting back in this game. Oh my gosh. They also have a Law of Life gain and a Law of Treasures. But they only have one card in hand. As long as I block the Immorith, they can't draw more cards. They are going to make it very hard. Alright. As I said, I have to take out Coma. Could gain it Indestructible, but can't gain anything else. Alright. So yeah, they can tap down something, but then I still have the 2/2 Pegasus, which can block Immorith, prevent them from drawing cards. Then I get Vorinclex, the little combo with Calyx. I could then immediately return Elspeth and the Birth of Meletis. Yep. Knew that was coming. But now that thing's gone, and we have a 2/2 to block Immorith, which is really all I need it to do. You don't have any other serpents, do you? They have 6 mana for Kinyan, but... oof. Okay! I might just be dead anyways then. Thanks to that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Almost. Yeah, almost. Almost dead. Who knows? Maybe the combo will get me back into the game. Even though it is simply just a Birth of Meletis and an Elspeth Conquers Death, it's a Birth of Meletis and an Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright. That's a cool... at least we get to see the combo go off. We get to see that it actually works as intended. Yeah, they could Kinyan at will. Sucks for me. But I can Elspeth the Immorith and hopefully find some solutions. Just don't find another Coma and I'm good. Okay, I can handle another gold span, believe it or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't have enough to activate Kinyan again. Oh, 7. So they'll have to tap their gold span, but they do have a way to activate Kinnian again if they really want to. If they do, they just need to not find Coma. And I think I win. I'm pretty sure... Oh, I got exiled. Coma here. Activated abilities can't be activated. Oh, I can still use Calyx before in response. Okay, so I'm fine. They just gained life instead of triggering the ability? Alright. Well, let's do our combo. Alright, so I get Vorin clicks on my upkeep. Then I draw a card. Now Elspeth Conqueror's Death triggers. I get Return Calyx with a loyalty counter. Alright. Calyx then -7s to get me both my Elspeth and my Birth of Meletis. Gave me the Constellation triggers and gain rid of Ilmarith. Planes. Alright, another Birth of Meletis. The planes. Try the Elysian Grove. Wow! Wow! They just saw that I was comboing off and were like, yeah, Archon of Sun's Grace? If you can... Yeah, no, I think this works. I think this combo legitimately works, because the Archon of Sun's Grace just gain all these enchantment triggers, even if it's just a few. Like, a few free life-linking flying Pegasi is powerful. Oh my gosh, I got the combo off, and they actually conceded because it was too powerful. And I even got attack with Vorinclex and Archon, and if they blocked one, I could reanimate it with Elspeth. Oh my gosh. Okay. We actually won that. Okay. Enchanted Flowers, everyone. Look at this deck. This deck did it. 2 Dread of Elysian Groves. Oh my gosh. This deck did it. By the way, the Sparring Regiments are useless, so I think we definitely pull those out. There's a Constellation card that I would grab. Where are they? Nessian Wayfarer. Alright. So... this is more Constellation triggers. And that means I just don't have the Learn sideboard. Okay. But yeah, this will allow me to get basically pull lands from the deck. The thing about lands is that it's still a card draw, technically. It's still technically a card draw. But that's awesome. That's awesome that that deck worked. Grandmaster of Flowers didn't get to do much. I don't think I ever drew it, or when I drew it, the game was already over. So yeah, unfortunately there was that, but still, it did its job. Enchanted Flowers did its job. The manlands didn't have a chance to do anything, so maybe those need to get pulled, but oh well. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope whatever janky deck ideas you have work fantastically like this did. Alright. Let's get things ready so we can move on to our next deck. So, let's decide which one I want to do. Is it Worst Loris? Quandrix Wizards, Code Bea's History? I think I want to try out Quandrix Wizards. So I'm going to submit that deck, then I'm going to go to decks and actually pull it out. So I could export it. So this deck is a lot more variable. I'll go into it. Oof. Okay, and says current. Alright. There we are. Let's go back to the tournament. Alright, so we have this deck available. I'm going to take care of something real fast, and then I will be back to go through the interview of what this deck is, and then we'll play it. Alright, I'm just going to do some breathing. And once I'm done with my breaths, I will start my intro. Hey everyone, welcome back. Again, we are at the Midweek Madness, so we're actually gaining the ability to play with whatever cards we want. And I am playing a deck that is a bit more ambitious. Our last one was very successful with the Selesnya enchantments, the enchantment flowers. So I'm trying a deck that's a bit more ambitious. So the card I want to see play is Demi-Lich. Now the problem with it's very good if you cast a lot of spells. The problem is, there aren't many good cantrips in the format right now. So I need to find a solution to that. And the thing that I realized, you don't actually have to cast any spells for this to trigger. You could just have 4 blue mana left open and a bunch of instants or sorceries in your graveyard, and you just cast Demi-Lich. You can just do that. So, that is one option. We also have... So, as for cards that it can... when you cast it, you can exile and cast a copy. See the Truth is a great card to cast with that. So I'll have 2 See the Truth, 2 Demi-Liches. By the way, the reason I have 2 Demi-Liches instead of 4, this isn't Phoenix. I'm going to be spending mana on this. This is going to be either a 2 mana or 3 mana card sometimes, but I'm not playing 4 instants or sorceries and then casting it. So then, in addition, this is kind of like a wizard's deck. So we have Chilling Trap, which is a cantrip if you control a wizard. So in addition to Demi-Lich being a wizard, Quandrix Apprentice is a wizard. We have Mentor's Guidance, which draws us 2 cards, scries 2 and draws us 2 cards, which I feel could be pretty good. I might end up switching this out for a different card draw, like Of One Mind, if I think I could get Demi-Lich more consistently, because that would be a 1 mana card draw as long as I have a Demi-Lich. This also allows for Druids, so therefore Dragon's Guard Elite is another win condition we have. You always want to have more than 1 win condition. So Demi-Lich, just get value, is a win condition. Dragon's Guard Elite, just giving me a bunch of +1/+1 counters and just a big threat, that's a win condition. Seagate Stormcaller, copying some spells, making it more powerful, that's one thing. These are 2 good wizards that give us early game. Quandrix Apprentice is just a good wizard. Drawing a land, as I said, it's drawing a card, but not the card you want. Who cares? It's drawing a card. As for the top end, I do have a Tanzania Quandrix. This could work with a Dragon's Guard Elite, but honestly, just a 5 mana 4/4 flyer could be pretty powerful. Add Quandrix Command to it, and then all of a sudden, my Quandrix Apprentice can attack in, my Seagate Stormcaller can attack in, because they're 4/4s. Quandrix Command is a nice combat trick to put some +1/+1 counters on it, return a creature to their hand, that sort of stuff. We also have just 2 Lair of the Hydras and 3 Hall of the Storm Giants. Just 5 different ways to get man lands if they wipe the board. And then also the Demi-Lich. Other than that, we do have some counter spells, because you need to run counter spells in these sort of decks, unfortunately. I tried to limit it, so 2 Mystical Disputes, 2 Salt Cummings, and 4 Jawari Disruptions. That's my counter spells. Some people will run more. I don't want to. I do not want to. But yeah, this is mainly blue, which means there will be times where we just have 4 blue mana open, and we just cast Demi-Lich. I think that will happen quite consistently. In addition, we have Wizard class as a pseudo-win condition. Basically, this is draw 2 cards, and then it also turns every one of our creatures into a Dragon's Guard Elite, where it just gets +1/+1 counters, it gets out of hand. Tanzania also helps with that, because once it comes to play, if one of my creatures has +1/+1 counters on it, put more on it. Other than that, it's just kind of this is definitely a bit more suspicious than my other decks. This is definitely much more suspicious, but I want to see Demi-Lich in action. If this deck fails, I do have an additional Demi-Lich deck I want to try, but I'm going to give it a shot. This is the one I trusted more. I could just be wrong, though. Alright. So we have Island, Wizard class. Lair of the Hydra, wait, Hold of the Jawari Disruption, or opt if they play nothing. I like it. I like it. See the Truth. Alright. For a future turn. We are playing a Yorion deck. Great. Don't you know how much I love Yorion? Just a control card that makes it If you're not using it and you're playing a deck that's not aggressive, you're probably just losing. Exactly how I want to play Magic, you know? Alright. I'm trying to think of any 3-drops in their deck that's worth countering. I think my actual play here is to just see the truth. Keep myself moving. Yeah, I don't think I want the Jawari Disruption right now. Alright. I'm gonna just, yeah, see the truth for now. Well, at the very least, I'm glad these are out of my way. But, saying thank goodness these are out of my way is not exactly the response you want to hear, to put simply. I took the land just to make guarantee we get land drops. They have Cultivates. That was a card that would have been good to Jawari Disruption. So I could hold up, and I could play this as an island, hold up Opt and Jawari. But I legitimately thought they were just going to Yorion. Now that they haven't, I'm in a weird spot. Gotta figure out a way out. I'm not the best control player, because a lot of control involves you understanding your opponent's deck as better than yours. And I play a lot of best of one, where I just see a lot of decks, and I like seeing a lot of decks, so I don't have time to learn all that very thoroughly. Because I didn't realize my opponent could and wanted to ramp that turn, so that was my mistake. So I could Dragon's Guard Elite and get ready to Opt, but I feel like that's this Jawari Disruption is probably just going to be played as a land. I'm going to commit to that and just have the Opt ready. But the thing is, this actually can't get killed by Heartless Act, because if they try Heartless Act it, I get to respond with an Opt and counter it. So yeah, I think this turn they're sliding something into their hand. More Cultivates, I couldn't have Jawari Disruption that anyways, and I don't think there's going to be a 2-mana play that I want to Jawari Disruption. But at this point, yeah, Jawari Disruption is a dead card. I'm going to play it tapped. Please try to Heartless Act it. Alright. They're holding up the Heartless Act for when I play my card. So I'm just gonna attack. Do they Heartless Act? Oop. I could actually Jawari Disruption that. Was not expecting that. Now I get to Opt. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think Brazen Borrower is where I want to be. Awesome. And we got deal additional damage thanks to the way they played it. Alright. So I could Quandrix, use a Chilling Trap as a combat trick. I have a Quandrix command for future. If I draw a land here, I can Quandrix command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're getting ready to ultimatum. They could ultimatum this turn, or now knowing I have a drawer. Oh, I only have a forest left open now. Yeah, if they ultimatum, I think I just lose. But it's like, they had double cultivate into ultimatum, and I did not stop them. Consider it my mistake. Yeah, they have to kill the Dragon's Guard Elite, which actually feels good. That they had to use their spells to just kill the Dragon's Guard. Awesome. So I can hold up a Quandrix command and the Chilling Trap, or I could just draw 2 cards off of that. So I have options. Return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, counter target artifact or enchantment, or put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. Alright. I think I also want to shove the 2 cultivates in their deck is also a thing I could do. But they're a 80 card deck already, so probably not worth the while. But yeah, Quandrix Command to protect my apprentice, I'm perfectly fine to do. Obviously, I would much rather use this to put +1/+1 counters to save it than to use it to just return it to my hand. But I'll do what I must. If they Yorion, this can at least bounce it back. Returns a creature or planeswalker to their hand. Okay. Alright. So, return a creature or planeswalker and put 2 +1/+1 counters. Return that to your hand. 2 +1/+1 counters on this. And I get it. Oof. I'm going to play this and just swing in. The Chilling Traps are pretty nice, but I think we just need to get more bodies on board. This thing can't be countered, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So no point getting counter spells. Alright, we have double Chilling Trap for next turn. If they try to just re-Coma. Unfortunately, that does mean I don't have an answer to Coma. But I'm about to cycle. I could draw 2 cards, cycle my hand. Like, I do have plays at the very least. The fact that they have to start tapping down my Quandrix Apprentice actually feels great, because it's a 6/6. Tanzanir is actually not the threat here, which is fantastic. Oh my gosh, yeah, Quandrix Apprentice is going to be an 8/8. This theme does not have reach, so Tanzanir can attack freely. I could start leveling up Wizard class. Alright, they had Ultimatum. Yep, I thought once they drew into Ultimatum we were going to be in trouble. The Emergent Ultimatum Yorion deck, I didn't counter the Cultivates. So many things I could do. Only so many things I could do. Missed with Quandrix Apprentice, but oh well. So I have 1 less land right now. I don't think that's the deciding factor here. Yeah, I think there are much more important factors than the fact that I missed a land with Quandrix Apprentice. Alright. Let's see what 3/8 I have to deal with. So, Professor Onyx. Gargaroth. So if I leave the Professor Onyx and the Gargaroth, I actually can attack him. If I leave the Courier of Best Sea God, yeah, I can't deal with the Kiora, so I'm actually going to let the other 2 through. This is not a positive position, but I can kill the Professor Onyx with Quandrix Apprentice. The Gargaroth, if it blocks, it trades with Quandrix Apprentice. Oh, greatest power amongst creatures they control. I thought it was greatest mana cost. I misunderstood. I misunderstood and I lost. I might have just lost because of it. Well, I legitimately thought is greatest converted mana cost, not greatest power. Well, that's bad. That's very bad. This is not a wizard, so Chilling Trap does not work with it. Well, I think that's game. My card draw has failed me. I need to get Tanzir Quandrix active. I don't see how I'm going to pull it off. I could have Lair of the Hydra attacked. They're both 4/4s. That still doesn't help me get through. Yeah, drawing my lands now. Ugh. Oh well. Can Demi-Lich help me? I mean, Demi-Lich is going to be really hard for them to counter. Well, I think that decides my fate. If they fight it, I can Chilling Chap to... So at least that way, the Pelucranos doesn't kill my Tanzanir. They just lost some damage on Pelucranos. They misskill disputed it. Okay. Yeah. They have the advantage. They have the position. I do need to get... Usually I wouldn't concede games, but I'm just like, there's only so much time I can stream, so I want to make sure I get through as many decks as I can. So once it's certain that the loss is coming, like, they have to disconnect to lose from there. They have to freaking disconnect. Misunderstood Professor Onyx, but on top of that, I was facing an Emergent Ultimatum. I'm not exactly going to be very keen of playing around an Emergent Ultimatum. Alright. Alright, so we have an Opt, we have a Seagate Stormcaller, and the Opt's going to get me my green mana. That's why I'm keeping this hand. And if it doesn't give me my green mana, I hold up a Brazen Bower. Alright, give me my green mana. That's not green mana. There we are. Kind of weird to see Quandrix Apprentice in Constructed, I'm sure, but I think it's the right play. Let's attack. And I have 2 bounce spells, so I'm gonna just play another Quandrix Apprentice and say you're still not a threat. You're not a threat for me yet. I could Seagate into Brazen Bower, I'm pretty sure. Copy the next. Yep. So yeah, I could Seagate Storecaller, double Brazen Bower, these 2. Non-land permanent. That's all it says. So I could Seagate, bounce, and congratulations, you get 1 token for Battle of Bredegard. Then I could bounce another token with Quandrix Command next turn. Perfect. Hey, that looks like a good land. Missed. Alright. And I could bounce back the battle, basically say you have to play it again. Yeah, I think that's actually a play. Get my mana. All fixed up on mana now. Next turn, I could play Wizard class, hold up Quandrix Command and Brazen Borrower. If they play their Battle for Bredegard, I can counter it and return their Luminarch Aspect back to their hand again. Here. I'm Wizard classing, and that could be a Mana Theme later. There's counters enchantment spells. Okay. I was hoping they wouldn't think to play Battle for Bredegard here. Alright, perfect. Perfect. Alright. So I counter target artifact or enchantment spell, and I think I return target creature to its owner's hand. Alright. Return that to its hand. There we go. No lands there. Force there. Alright. With all this, what am I going to do with all this mana? It's almost as if I have a mana sink for it. Gosh, if they played that backwards, I could have actually taken out the Luminarch back to their hand. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so they had second Ranger class. That's why they were doing this play. I'll take the block. Alright. So if I draw 3 cards, let's see. If I play Forest draw 3 cards, I then could still hold up Brazen Borrower. I think I start with an Opt, actually. Yeah, I could turn it into a 3-3 with Lair of the Hydra. Alright. There we are. That's sort of lands I want to see. Let's close out this game. Alright, so I can pay to foretell slot coming and still hold up Brazen Borrower. So I have options. Yep. So now I have the counterspell. And I also have the Brazen Borrower. If I'm not threatened by them, I could just play the Brazen Borrower. The flying basically allows me to get over and deal the last of the damage. Yeah, I'd say we're in a good spot. We even have some card draw just waiting for us. Yep. Yeah, if whoever they cast doesn't interfere with the Brazen Borrower attacking them for a lethal plan, I just let it happen. Alright. Why did it tap like that? Alright. Why is it tapping like this? These are some of the worst taps. Like, I wanted to agree. There's literally a 2-mana play in there. Why did you tap like that? That was the stupidest tap I've ever seen this tapper do. Like, there's literally a playable in my hand sitting there. That doesn't trigger because X can't be 0. That was the stupidest tap I've seen this thing do. Oh my gosh. That's kind of infuriating. That's a little infuriating. Alright. I'm trying to think what the combat trick could be. I'm okay killing whichever one they put the +1/+1 counter on. Yeah, I really am disappointed that I couldn't play Quandrix Apprentice because of the auto tapper. Oh well. So Tanzania, and then I could still Quandrix Apprentice. Okay. And then Quandrix Apprentice. If I attack, they block with a 1/1. That stops the 1/1 from attacking. They have to block with both if they want to kill it. I'm okay with that. Yep, I'm actually okay with this trade. This is actually a trade that's positive as far as I care. As far as I can tell. So next turn, I can actually Lair of the Hydra as a 1/1. Attack with it and Tanzania Quandrix. Turn them all into 4/4s. And like, even though all of my cards in hand are lands, the fact that I got all of those lands out of my deck is actually a positive. I'm gonna just let that in. Tanzania wins me the game. Alright. X equals 1. No. Cancel. So X equals 1. I need to pay a forest and 1. Let's see how you respond to this, then I'll figure out my response in return. Alright. So here's a question. Does this kill everything if I do it like this? I'm pretty sure it does. That's bad. Yep. So I did not... I knew Sigrid... I just thought the chances of them getting 2 Sigrids with so little plays was unlikely enough that I'd go for it. I recognize my mistake before anyone brings it up. I knew that was a play they could use. I just thought, like, certainly they did not have another one, you know? And now they Paladin class to buff, and they win. Wow. They needed 2 Sigrids in the top third of their deck. But they had it. Oof. This is 0-2 now. That last game, Wizard class, I just don't have the mana to sink into it. Even with all the mana in the world, I do not have the mana to sink into Wizard class. So that's one mistake. Tanzania, I still like it as a 4/4 flyer, but I need to recognize that if it gets... You know, I should have just triggered it to see if it worked, because if it turned everything to 4/4s, I probably could have come back. Oh well. Oh well. 0-2, we got a winning... So in case you're wondering, a lot of these decks I literally just made today to try to see if they can work. I don't have much time to playtest or practice or anything. And so I'm okay with these not working. Not to mention I have yet to see either of my Demi-Liches. Alright, Dragon's Guard Elite into Opt See the Truth. I'm gonna make sure the Opt is available to play. I'm probably not gonna play it though. Yep. They are a slower deck. I have the time to Dragon's Guard Elite. Flumph. That will draw me cards. Alright. So I'll See the Truth. Try and get myself an island. The green card was the island. I mean, I think they saw that coming from a mile away. They just didn't care. Which, by all means, I don't think they should have cared. Alright, now we each draw a card. So now I could force Quandrix Apprentice and still hold up Brazen Borrower. Ooh, even better, I could hold up Chilling Trap. Yep, they're not blocking that. I wouldn't do it. I don't expect them to. So if they level up Cleric class here, I can actually Brazen Borrow the Cleric class, which is fantastic for me. Fate's Feathers. Alright. I could, in response, Brazen Borrower the Fate's Fetters if I feel the need to. That's going to gain them a lot of life, though. Oh, it's an enchantment spell, though. Alright, there we are. I found my solution. Alright. Attack with both. Yep, make that block. Now I get a Chilling Trap you. Well, don't you love it when a deck comes together? Alright. Now I have a Quandrix Command and a Opt ready. Priest of Ancient Lore, okay. Charming Prince. Nope, we'll allow it. I'll just Brazen Borrow to get myself a big body. Yep, that makes sense. Priest of Ancient Lore acting as the card draw effectively. Go. I must see the truth first. Alright. Nothing up with Quandrix, that's fine. They have to double block to kill the Quandrix Apprentice. Right to the Tilling Trap trigger happens again. Alright. Surely they saw that coming. I literally played that a little while ago. Kind of sucks that I'm missing with the Quandrix Apprentice, but... And then drawing the lands. Alright. Alright. If they Faith's Fetters... Get Quandrix Command. Alright. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell and put 2++1 counters. Alright, so let's see. That's going to have 7+1/+1 counters. Yeah, we're going to just put on Brazen Borrower. Alright. These Quandrix Apprentices just will not hit. And that should be lethal. Without, if anything, but Flump. Congratulations, the Flump saved you. I'm going to opt first. Because if I find a Brazen Borrower, then... Yep. Thank you. Yep, they saw it. Yeah, okay, so that's 1-2. This deck does have viability, we see. This deck can work if it gets off the ground. The ability to just stop my opponent's actions and then start doing its own. It's one of those decks where they play low ground creatures and then they start countering everything the opponent does. If this was a forest or a Lair of the Hydra, I'd keep this hand. Because then I could Quandrix Apprentice, and I'd have 3 draws at any land, but this is 3 draws at specifically a forest. Alright, let's figure out if the opponent, if this is a deck where I need to opt, or if this is something where I could save the opt for Quandrix Apprentice to get myself a land. Do I still save it for the Dragon's Guard Elite? I mean, what would I be grabbing with the opt? I have nothing to grab with the opt, so the card focusing doesn't matter, because if I draw a land, I'm happy. If I draw a non-land, I'm happy. Yep. So because there's nothing I'm searching for, I'm going to just leave the opt in my hand and play it later once I have Quandrix and Dragon's Guard Elite out. Alright. Dear Devil Doc, do you respond? Do you recognize that the game's going on? I know, so, Demi-Lich is not a card that you can play 4 of, as far as I can tell. So, kind of sad that I haven't seen any I have not seen any of my Demi-Liches. But, then again, Demi-Lich I'm not playing 4 of, so... Alright. I have a feeling that's Poison the Cup. And if they poison my Quandrix Apprentice, then that's my Dragon's Guard Elite out, which feels pretty good. Alright. Do I want to Quandrix Command that, or do I wait for... Yeah, I wait for another creature to come into play, I think. So I think right now we just Dragon's Guard and do the opts. Then we have a bounce, we have a Quandrix Command. Double Righteous Valkyrie is definitely very dangerous for us. So in case you're wondering, my Cleric deck is basically just gain as many Righteous Valkyries as possible, because the card's so good. Awesome. Do I want another Quandrix Command? Let's see, if I attack with both... Yes, I do. I'm attacking with both. I think the trick is kind of obvious, but I want to see how they respond to it. Alright. So instead I could Quandrix Apprentice, and as they play something, I could Brazen Borrower. Okay. I'll do that instead. Alright. But yeah, Quandrix Command actually allows me to do some pretty good combat tricks here. You know, Teleportation Circle might fit in this Angel deck, in the Angel deck. I could see that. Alright. So they're 3-color clerics. Interesting. What did they foretell then? Haunting Voyage is one thing they could foretell. I'm trying to think what other cleric cards they'd want to foretell. Or Angel cards either. Starnheim Unleashed. There it is. That's a Starnheim Unleashed. Okay. Mill 3 cards and lose 2 life. Alright. I'm perfectly fine with this. I went first, so... Wait for them to end the turn. There we go. Now we Brazen Borrow one of them. Oof. And now we thin out all the lands in our deck, basically. Alright, so they had to exile the Dragon's Guard Elite. I'm okay with that. Get Bark Channel Pathway. And a Hall of the Storm Giants. Nice. Are they gonna block? Awesome. Awesome. So I get to do this. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. And I get to shuffle up to 3 cards. Alright, so 2+1/+1 counters here. Opts or... Let's look at... Yeah. I'll target them. I'll shuffle their Happy-Upon Glade and Witherbloom command, because these are not good cards for them. Get an island. Get a Lair of the Hydra. There we are. And we're once again in a very powerful position. I see. Doomscar. They have Doomscars in their grave. Alright. There's the other Doomscar. Well, this is where also Storm Giants excels. In places where Doomscar's coming in. I'm going to Lair of the Hydra first, though. Because now I can Brazen Borrower their Angels whenever they play them. I can also play my own Brazen Borrower. So yeah, this turn I basically hold up Brazen Borrower and Unsummon. Alright, so let's Unsummon that. And let's Brazen Borrower. Alright. So how much do I want to commit? Not much, I feel. So I want to leave 3 up for Quandrix Command, which means that's only 1. Okay. So I'm going to just play the Dragon's Guard Elite as a way to commit. And in a future turn, I'll use my man lands. So I finally got around to getting on desktop. I could see the Stream Decker, but there is no deck list inside it for me. Darn it! Sorry to hear that Stream Decker's not working. Yeah, I think this is worth. Return target creature to its owner's hand, put 2+1 cards, so return that to its hand, and get a bigger Brazen Borrower. I don't know what happened to make it work, but it's now there. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I want to leave 3 open for the Salt coming. So 1. That should work. Yep. Oh, gosh darn it. Forgot that the Lair of the Hydra is a land itself. I mean, that makes it obvious what I'm doing, but I don't care if it's obvious. I want his Doomscar gone. They have 2 Doomscars. Be my guest. I'm okay with the Righteous Valkyrie coming to play. I'm just not okay with this Doomscar coming in. They're so close to getting lethaled. Alright. They have 2 mana left open if they do this. Oh. If they kill the Brazen Borrower, I play the other Brazen Borrower, win the game. Alright, so yeah. Take your binding. Yep, have to kill that one. And then I just end of turn, play the other Brazen Borrower, attack. Alright. So he hopes it always throws them off. Not a bad idea, by the way. Alright. Aw, man. Right as we drew Demi-Lich. Okay. X equals 4. That tapping's somewhat offensive to me. I'm sorry. And I have Assault coming right up here. They have a response. Assault coming. Good game. Yep, you do need some counter spells. Probably the way I could make this deck work is just add more counter spells, honestly. That, of course, I draw the Demi-Lich when it doesn't even, when the game's over. Oh well. We'll find a way to make Demi-Lich work. Anyways, I believe that puts us at 2-2. I could be wrong, I've definitely been losing track of this one, but I believe that puts us at 2 wins, 2 losses. Which means... Oof. Isn't there a Flash Enter the Battlefield counterspell card? Voracious Shore Shark, but that only counters artifact spells, I believe. It's not the reason I chose to put in the Sot Cummings is because Sot Cumming counters whatever is they're doing. If they're a creature deck, it counters that. If they're an ultimatum deck, it counters that. Alright. We have See the Truth. We have a Demi-Lich. We're going to see if this actually works. Alright. See the Truth just getting played. I feel like See the Truth is definitely a card to pull out of this deck. At best, it's been just doing what it has to. I'm going to grab the Jwari Disruption as just a safety net. Because I have a feeling they're about to ramp it to... They're going to be a ramp deck, and seeing them do a ramp and then countering could be very strong. And then also we have a Quandrix command. We get to hold up a bunch of stuff. And then once we feel more secure and that they have less to do, I can pull out Demi-Lich. Ugh. I can't play Quandrix Apprentice right now. Should have taken the opt. Should have taken the opt. Oh well. Next turn I could Quandrix and hold up Jwari Disruption. Alright. So tapping 1, 2. So they can tap up to 5 mana to get like a Goldspan Dragon out. Alright. I don't like using Sot coming on this guy. I really do not like using Sot coming on this guy, but nothing else plays. It's stopping a 5-5. I have to be accepting of that. Alright. Well, next turn, I Branch Loft, Quandrix, and get to Jawari Disruption. Ooh, even better. And yes, with this deck, holding up an additional island is better than holding up gain a proper forest island balance. So now we have Brazen Borrower and Jawari Disruption, depending on what they're doing. Alright. I think I just bounce Magda when the time comes. Oh, this is combat phase. They can't cast it during combat phase, so I'm gonna bounce the... I should have bounced the Magda while the Bone Crusher was... Nah, this is fine. This messes with their mana quite a bit. Alright. So I think we just play the Jawari Disruption tapped. Yeah, so now they have to use their treasure if they want to use Bone Crusher. Oh, no, they have just Spire Sentinel. Never mind. I thought the Jawari Disruption could work here, but I was incorrect. The Magda just gave them all the little treasure tokens they needed. They had to really commit to a card for me to actually be able to use it. Alright. So this is where I'm talking about the strength, one of the strengths of Demi-Lich. I think I just played Demi-Lich. I have a Sea of the Truth that gets to play. So it gets to draw me cards, and then the Sea of the Truth. Yeah. I get to draw a ton of cards if this attacks. So this is a threat that needs to they need to get rid of. Let's see how the Demi-Lich fares. It's just a 4-mana 4/3. And yeah, then I get a Quandrix. Oh, the mic is connected to my headphones, and therefore when my headphones got pulled, the mic got pulled. Alright. And then I have a Quandrix command to do some counters, like bounce something and buff my Demi-Lich. I get to do that again next turn. That is... Maybe the Demi-Lich... Okay. That is a not good. That is a not good. I mean, I'm killing the Jaspara Sentinel. Like what? Do they have a double strike trigger, so they just kill me this turn? Oh. Who plays Sudden Breakthrough? Well, I'm gonna say this was the opponent's deck just being insane. I finally got to play Demi-Lich, and just immediately died. That hurts. That hurts. Demi-Lich, I think, can work. It was just... Well, it's not tier 1. Okay, when I say it can work, I don't mean tier 1. I mean, it's a nice card. Thanks. I have 2 spells to exile for Demi-Lich. Yeah, I'm dead on board. I play that to block the gold span, and then I just take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 2-3. 2-3. Did not make it, and when it worked, it was not due to Demi-Lich. Man, I just really want Demi-Lich to work. I'm going to try again. I have another deck that I think Demi-Lich could work in as well. But I think this deck could be good if I just ruffle out the feathers. Mentor's Guidance, I don't see that ever being good enough. Wizard class is not good enough. Let's get more Sot Cummings, more Mystical Disputes. Oh, wait, Brazen... Why do I only have 2 Brazen Borrowers? Okay. There's... Oh, Sea of the Truth can get pulled. Yeah. There you go. That's more what the deck should look like. That's more what the deck should look like. I like Quandrix Command. I like Quandrix Command. Alright. Lair of the Hydra. You know what? I'm gonna go down on one of these each. I think they are good enough. But yeah, that's how I would change Quandrix Wizards. I think this is potential. I think this is potentially there. I think it's potentially close. Let's go with that. It's not tier 1. God, no. But it's potentially close. And I think 2 Demi-Liches is the right number. Just, when you want it, you want it. When you don't, you don't. Yeah. Alright. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope whatever jank you're doing works better than this. Or at the very least, you draw the jank card more often. In places where it's not already over. Alright, last deck. Last deck, everyone. Okay. So, the last deck is Monk Demi-Lich. Let me export it. This is a deck... So this deck might just absolutely fail. Just flat out. I was trying to build it a few times. And it, yeah, had weird stuff going on. I'm going to just get water. Just get water. And then I'll be back. Alright. Whew. Hey everyone. So with the midweek madness, with the theme that we can play with whatever cards we want, I've been doing some jank, and this is perhaps my most jank of the jank. So, this deck is really about Monk class, getting myself a bunch of spells, and using a bunch of... Basically, the whole thing is I want Demi-Lich to see play, but there's not many good cantrips, so the idea is Monk class, I could play, like, an Opt into a... into, like... Gosh, into a Bone Crusher Giant, or something of that nature. Play an Opt to a Bone Crusher, that's 2 spells, and I just have a 2-mana Demi-Lich. And then there's a lot of spells. You'll notice... There's not many lands, because all the lands are 2-mana spells here. There's even a Bay and Veil, just to help me protect against the aggressive. Sejari Shelter. This is my most ambitious of my jank decks. I have 4 Study Breaks to help me get my sideboard, because the sideboard cards are pretty good. Teachings of the Archaics to help me get lands. Start from Scratch to help Destruction. Illuminate History, just to discard cards, so I have more stuff to loot with the Demi-Liches. Stuff like that. Lorehold Command is a very strong card. Demi-Lich, I think, is a strong card if you can find the shell for it. I'm just having trouble finding the shell. This is definitely, by far, the most ambitious. And maybe I want 4 Monk classes. Originally, this also had 1 Sorcerer class. You know, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to just add Sorcerer. Let's add the Sorcerer class. And let's take out the Bay and Veil, maybe? Yeah, Something needs to get pulled. I think I'm just gonna make sure I have less. Oof. I think study. Ugh. That's the hard part. There's so many weird cards in this. I'll take out a rip apart. Don't know if I'm gonna have the lands for it. So that one change. We'll see if that will. So I only want one sorcerer class because the whole thing is I'm using it for its final win condition. I want to win the game with sorcerer class if I ever play it. So I don't want to get it often. All right. We have 2 Triomes plus a Spikefold Hazard. We have a Clarion Spirit. We have... I think we have a hand. I think we have a hand. So we're going to start with 2 Triomes. Then we can Expressive Iteration. So I could Clarion Spirit, then Expressive Iteration, and possibly get a play. But I think it's just safer to play another Triome here. And I have a Spikefield Hazard if they have some sort of 1 mana or 1 health creature. I think Spikefield Hazard is perfect in this position. Oh, actually, hold up. I think I found a better play. Alright. Hengegate, and this is all 3. Yep, so I'm going to put this in blue. So I can now Clarion Spirit. And with my second spell... There we go. Now, Clarion Spirit triggers, we get a 1/1 White Spirit. Awesome. Next turn, I can Expressive Iteration, land, and do something else. Or at least that's the hope. Alright. So they're getting a ramp deck of some sort. So these Spikefield Hazards are pretty good. Even if the Selfless Savior saves it. Alright. Expressive Iteration. Alright. 1 in my hand. 1 in exile, and 1 back at the bottom, I think. Yeah. I want to play the monk class. Yeah, of these plays. So this is in my hand. And bottom. Oh, that's exiled. Misreading. My biggest weakness. Alright. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack with both. Now that they know my Hero Something on Watch is there. Alright. Yep. And now I just play Monk class instead. Alright. Definitely worst case. Definitely a bad decision on my part. I misread it. I want to put the land in there, but... Oh well. That gave us a free attack. That was definitely a mistake on my part, but I don't think it's what's going to cost us the game here. Yeah, I think that's what's going to cost us the game. I'm going to make a guess that Winota is what's going to cost us the game. Yep, and now they just pull out the Giant Killer, and so I can't use that as an answer. Alright, so I'm going to block the Selfless Savior so that I could, Oh. Oh, they just got another Winota. Alright. Well, I'm going to still block the Selfless Savior, just get that out of the way so I could Giant Killer the other Winota. Alright. Ooh, ooh. Okay, this is each turn. Awesome. So, I'm going to put a stop at their upkeep. On their upkeep, I'm going to Giant Killer their Winota, and then Study Break the Elite Spellbinder and the Lotus Eater. Alright. Churn. Their turn. Giant Killer Winota. There it goes. Alright. So now they can play their cards. So if they play the Winota here, I can then Study Break. Awesome. So let's see what they play. Because if they play Goldspan, I'd rather tap the Goldspan. Alright. There we are. Tap them both down. And do I want Teaching of the Archaic or Reduce to Memory? Or I could Demi-Lich and Environmental Sciences or something like that. Ooh, I have 4 mana only. Those things both have 3 health, so start from scratch does kill. So I could start from scratch, then... Giant Killer reduced to memory is also a play. Let's look at the battlefield. Yeah. I'm going to actually start from scratch here, I think, is my pick. So yeah, Giant Killer, start from scratch, deal 1 damage to this guy. Alright. And the Lowest Cobra, I'm pretty sure I could double block and kill it. And then I still have the Monk class unsummon. Like, and we're doing this with 4 lands, everyone. Like, we have mostly lands, but we're actually pulling this off. I don't know any cards. Oh god, Kenrith's in the format? I thought this card was one of those cards that was banned from the format. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll just make them have to play it again. Oh, they just won the game. Yeah, they all have Trample and Haste. That's not enough to block that. And then we take 11 damage. Wow. I didn't realize Kenrith was in the format. I thought that was one of the cards that was banned like Oko. Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks for coming by, Vibes, even if you don't know the cards. If you look at Stream Decker, you can see our deck list, but it's very much a wonky deck. And yeah, we're playing against high-level standard decks every once in a while, so... Like, Winota... Gosh, why did I think Kenrith was gone? Because, yeah, Kenrith getting Trample and Haste, look, it's a 6-mana, 5/5 Trample Haster. Like, that's good enough, but then it also gives everything else Trample. So I needed to have exiled the Double Striker, which was not the expected play, to put simply. Alright, I go first. So I could do the Triome again. Yep, double Triome into Clarion Spirit. Or I could double Triome Expressive Iteration. Yep, I have... They're weird plays, again. Again, my land base is really weird, but... Alright. Everything's coming in tapped. Might as well start with the ones that are always coming in as lands. Alright. Oh, Esper. Esper Luris. Okay. I could probably handle that. Alright, so they're a sack outlet deck. Okay, I got it. But why Esper? You'd think the sack outlet deck would want to be red. Huh. It's Expressive Iteration first, because it's either Expressive Iteration or Clarion Spirit. And... I like so all of their cards cost 2 or less, so the Jawari Disruption isn't hitting their Luris right now anyways. So I'm trying to think. I could Clarion Spirit, Expressive Iteration, and if I get my lands, Planeswalker it. Yeah, I think that's actually the play. Alright. 3 Triomes, man. That's a nice little intro. Alright. You got a kill spell for the Clarion Spirit? Perfectly fine. I just start ramping my way up to Lorehold Command. Have a steady Blake along the way. If they play a land, I just put Luris in their deck. Oh. So they only play in 2-mana play here. Okay. I'm not going to block either of their creatures because they're just going to have the Malakir Rebirth is my guess. So, I don't want to play into Malakir Rebirth. Next turn I can decide whether I want Study Break or Jawari Disruption, assuming I get a land off of Expressive Iteration. Which, I mean, I have 3 draws on it, so... Pretty likely. Just make sure I read it properly and I get the land in the exile. In exile. Oof. I did say this was the most ambitious and suspicious of the decks, so... Alright. So one goes in my hand. One goes... Alright. So this... I think the Brazen Borrower I want to put in my hand. Bottom... One goes in my library. Alright, I want to put the Study Break in my library. So I put this Shelter here. So I can just play it as a tap land. Alright, now I will block... I am willing to block the Archfiend's Vessel because if they manage to use their trick to get a 5/5, I just bounce it with a Brazen Borrower. Do I want the land? I think the answer is yes. Alright. Feels good for me. And I have a block for the Eye Twitch, I have a block for the Archfiend's Vessel. Oof. I should be getting in a better spot. They're definitely going to have a Plum for the Forbidden in their deck. Yeah, okay, so they have their 3 colors. I wonder how they do Esper for this kind of Lurrus Sacrifice deck. Makes me think there's just something that's going to be... I mean, it demands, it lets me know that there's something that's going to come in that I have no idea what I'm getting into. Alright, Bloodsky Berserker. There's a play. Okay. So, I get a Lorehold command to kill it, and get myself a 3/3, 3/2. Alright, I like that. I'm blocking the Archfiend's Vessel, easy. You want to do some combat trick? I'm happy to see it. Alright. So I can either Brazen Borrower and... I'm playing this on blue. And we're just going to hold up Lorehold's command. I could be safe and just kill it now, but I think this was the better play. I think this is the slightly better play. Are they stuck on 3 lands? They're stuck on 3 lands. Alright. This is a trigger if they cast a spell, so I need to let them cast that spell and then respond with Lorehold command. Right here. Awesome. Alright. So I want to create a 3/2, and I want to deal 3 damage to any target. So this is 3 damage to any target. And that player gains 3 life. Okay. They'd have to have like a 1-mana Spell Pierce. If so few cards left, even if they do that, I just Brazen Borrower and get a better theme next turn. Wow, they actually had their 3-mana Spell Pierce. Alright, well they get a 5/5 to attack this turn. Alright, I could double block and kill it, but I'm just going to Brazen Borrower it and just assume they can't really do much with it. Okay. So Jawari Disruption is going to hit. Just flat out, it's going to hit. So what's not going to hit? I think Bayon Veil is just pointless. I'd rather just be killing their creatures. So, yeah. Play this as a tap land. Send the turn back. Alright. So yeah, I can if they play a card, I can Brazen Borrow the Bloodsky Berserker, and as they try to cast it again, I Jawari Disruption it. Feels good. I think I have some plays. I also have a Kabihara takedown for the next one. Alright. Do I want to just Study Break now? Yeah, Study Break, tap down Blood Sky, and Monk of the Open Hand. I like that. I could have Brazen it next turn. And this learns me to an actual answer here. We'll see what the... I don't remember what's in my sideboard, but I'm sure I have something that's good here. The sideboard doesn't really have board clear spells, but we're getting close to Mascot Exhibition, honestly. Start from scratch, just dealing 1 damage. Honestly, Environmental Sciences just gaining me a little life might be the pick. We have way more cards than they do, so the Teaching of the Archaics is pointless. Yeah, I'm gonna just grab the Environmental Sciences. Alright. They're gonna play something this turn. They're going to, and then I have a Kabihara takedown, which is going to give plus... That's going to deal 3 damage, so... Alright. Let's kill the Giant Killer. You have another Hexproof? I'd love to see it. Great, you tap it down, and then your character dies. And then I untap. Alright. Kind of weird gain. There's no basic lands in my deck. We'll need to take that one out. Bounce the Blood Sky, so I get the 1/1 flying. They'll just block with the Serrated Scorpion, so I'm just going to attack with my 1/1 flyer. And I now have a Brazen Borrower ready. I have a Jawari Disruption and a Brazen Borrower on the back line. We have a few options, basically, and I like all of them. I think we'll come back from this. But yeah, did not realize that. Probably should have considered that before I made my decisions. But it looks like they're kind of like having trouble playing cards. Do I Jawari Disruption a Giant Killer? No. They're not drawing lands, so I need a Jawari Disruption the Luris when it comes out. Alright. We just wait. I'm going to attack with the Eye Twitch. Okay. I block here. And I'm going to get a Brazen Borrower, so I can start attacking in the air with actual damage. Okay, note to self, Environmental Sciences does nothing in this deck. It must look absolutely insane gain more blue mana with this, but I still think that's the correct play. Alright, we have some counter pressure now. Alright, that was smart, playing the Blood Sky first. Actually, I could bounce the other Blood Sky. That was actually a play I could have done. Yeah, I should have in response bounced the other Blood Sky. They play it, I Jawari Disrupt it. That was the correct play. I made a mistake. Alright, well, we're getting a flying army, which is what Clarion Spirit does best. Their only attack was with a 4/4 Monk of the Open Hand. It is a good attack, though. Not sure if they realize it, though. Gosh, if I get Monk class, I could upgrade it all the way to max level immediately if I wanted to. I think I want to. Put the Monk of the Open Hand back in. Ooh, ooh. Get rid of the Monk. There we are. And now I have 7 damage in the air still. And that's a very small churn of clocks. Alright, I'm going to put this on white in case there is... So the point of putting it on white is in case there is a Monk class, I could tap, tap, and then still have Jawari Disruption active after leveling Monk class all the way to level 3. That being said, 9 lands. 9 lands in this deck, guys. That's pretty uncommon. That's pretty darn uncommon for a deck like this. There are 20... I think there are 24 lands total if you count every tap land. Alright. Alright. Not much I can do about this. I can attack with the double Brazen Borrower, and... next turn, if they get land and lures, I can disrupt it. So I at least have that for me. Do I just Brazen Borrow the Eye Twitch to get in? I think I do, because it allows me to threaten lethal. Let's see if they are smart enough to tap down my 3/1s. Actually, they'll tap down my 2/2. That's actually smarter. Alright. Brings them to 8. Okay. So if they draw a land here, they can put Lurrus in their hand and immediately play it, and that will actually be a mistake because then Jawari Disruption can trigger. Gosh, I'm going to get to a point where I just need a Jawari Disruption as a means to... Gosh, I should have played Brazen... No, I needed the... I'd get a 1/1 this turn, duh. Alright, play the Eye Twitch again. They don't have enough to Lurrus and play it. They don't... I doubt they have anything that costs 5 mana for this. Alright. So they got their triggers. The smart move is actually to tap down one of my 1/1 flyers, so I can't block, and I have to use my Clarion Spirit. Oh, but then... Do I threaten lethal, though? Yep, that was a smart play. Alright, they can bring me to 1 with a full attack. And I have to double block the Soraya, the Bluskeye Berserker. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have to double block here because it has Menace. It has Menace, right? Not Trample. Good. I made this entire play expecting them to have Menace, not Trample. Alright. So then I'm 1 off from lethal with the board as is. So if I draw a land, sucks to be me. But I didn't draw a land. Alright. Piercing Down the Watch is great because it's a kill spell against attackers and is a combat trick if you're aggressive yourself. And since our idea is to slow down their board, build wide, and then destroy theirs, Piercing Down the Watch is actually good there. Alright, 1/1. Had to work hard for that 1 win, but we're 1/1 with this deck, guys. gosh. Whew. Still moving. Still going good. Still having everything work. Alright. Janu plays. I go first. I have, at best, 2 lands. But I have an Opt, an Expressive Iteration. This is where my ambitions kill me. But my hope is that next turn I can Opt, and if Opt still fails to defy a land, I get Expressive Iteration for the land. Alright. So now I have Bone Crusher, I have Expressive Iteration, I have options. Expressive Iteration. Well, which land do I want? I want to play Triome now, so I am going to put this one in my hand, I think. Yeah. This one in my hand. This one at the bottom. This one here. There we go. Next turn I can Clarion Spirit Opt, or I could just Bone Crusher, have an Opt ready. Like, I have a few options. Options. As I said, Demi-Lich, I might just play as a 4-4. As a 4-mana 4-3. The ability that I could do that is pretty great. Oof, no lands. Like I say, I like winning, but I like my opponents to actually put up a fight. To the point where I don't count that as a win, really. 1-1. 1.5 to 1. We're going to go with that. So if multiple opponents do it, I do have to end this at some point. So, 1.5 to 1. Alright. Let me think. So they seem to be like some sort of... Yeah, red Magda deck. Bone Crusher was just too strong because it's Bone Crusher. Triome into Monk class. Or I can leave up Jwari's Disruption. Yep. Because the opponent goes first... Okay. Because the opponent goes first, I can actually... I think it's a good idea to leave up the Jwari Disruption to stop a 3-drop. I don't like Skyclave Shade. Skyclave Shade. I do not like him, Sam I am. They have to have a play. They're an aggressive deck. They have a play. I don't like countering with the Skyclave Shade, but it's something I gotta do sometimes. You gotta do sometimes. Alright. If only Monk class had Flash. Alright. I'm gonna play this tapped and just get Monk class out now, I think. Literally just 2 Skyclave Shades are gonna beat my deck, aren't they? If it does, I'm gonna be sad. Alright. So do I Clarion Spirit, Giant Killer, or do I just level up the Monk class, bounce one of these to his hand, hold up Study Break? Like, I have options, but none of them feel good. Oh, let's see. The Clarion Spirit, the 1-mana 1/3s are probably good enough, and honestly, just Study Breaking might be the play. So I'm just gonna Clarion Spirits. Yeah, I think at this point they've shown that I could just play Giant Killer and not worry about the fact that I lose the ability to kill a 4-power minion. I think they've shown that I need to get these 1/3s out. These 1/1s. Alright. Next turn, I can actually Demi-Lich into Study Break. Alright, so they had to thirst that. Alright, Heartless Act that as well. Well, they can't reanimate both this turn. Demi-Lich can't block appropriately. But I can just level this up instead. Turn that to their hand. And max out its level. There we go. At the very least, we have a max out monk class. We're going to see how this fares. Exile to land. Unfortunate. Alright. Expressive Iteration. I want to play the Clarion Spirit this turn. I think. Let's see. So I put the Clarion Spirit in play. Okay, I put the Clarion Spirit in my hand. I put the Expressive Iteration on the bottom, and the Opt is my play. I think. Okay, if I play the Clarion Spirit this turn, I can still Study Break, but then that doesn't give me a play. Yeah. Let's see. I need to Study Break to be able to play Demi-Lich. Alright. I think I want Iteration in my hand. And Opt's why I play this turn. Yeah. I don't like it, but I think that's my play. Iteration in my hand. Opt in my life. Gosh darn it! Messed it up. Let's see, did I play a land this turn? Doesn't matter, I can't. Okay. Start from scratch seems pretty strong. I think Reduce to Memory is going to exile Skyclave Shade. Doesn't matter. We couldn't play. We drew no lands. We couldn't play them all. We just go with what we got. All right. I mean, I'm not blocking with the Skyclave Shade just yet. Duress takes out the Reduce to Memory, I'm assuming. Oh, I thought they were about to take out the Monk class. I was about to be very happy. Alright. I can't really stop it. I made some mistakes this turn, and I didn't get some help. Alright, so I can attack Expressive Iteration, which will allow me to get my Brazen Borrower played. Yeah. So we're going to play this on red, I think. Wait, why does it keep showing Clarion Spirit exiled? Expressive Iteration. Wait, hold up. You may cast the copy. It's just you may cast the copy. Oh my gosh. Oh, it has to be right now. I thought that's what it was saying, that you may cast the copy. It had to be right. Oh my god. I thought it was like, just, you may cast the copy. That is now a thing you can do. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, we're bouncing that. And we'll level this up. Bouncing that. Just these two Skyclave Shades, I have no way of playing around them, really. Because they just keep coming back, and that's not what this deck is good at answering. Misread the card drastically, but it's okay. I'm going to Expressive Iteration next turn. Possibly get some answers. Alright, what do we exile? Could be hard takedown. That's good. That's good. Alright, so I can reduce to memory 1, then copy... No. Rip apart 1. I'm going to start with Expressive Iteration. Alright. Laurel Command in my hand. Actually, Brazen Borrow in my hand. Lorehold's played this turn. Okay. Like that. And we're actually putting the land at the bottom. I think. Oh wait, we have Kabihara this turn. So I'm gonna Kabihara to shoot. This I want in my hand. Yeah, it's a lot of thought that I need to put into it right now. Lorehold Command can actually be played for 3. I'm still going with this play. Play this land. Oh. Alright. Wait, can I Brazen Bar? No, I cannot. As long as I cast another spell this turn. Okay. I'm just going to cast Kabihara on another turn. Alright, because I need to create a spirit creature token and deal 3 damage, gain 3 life. Because I need to stop these Skyclaves somehow. Demi-Lich is starting to pay off. I'm glad I'm able to see Demi-Lich in action. But yeah, Demi-Lich and Monk class are actually working pretty well together right now. That's okay, I think I still get a 3-2. And I gain 3 life still. Hey! That's good. Yeah, I feel like my opponent's deck becomes a lot worse if they don't draw specifically Skyclave Shade. Alright. Oh, I could start pulling Lorehold. I could pull a Lorehold Command out with Demi-Lich. Okay. Our deck's starting to look good. Our deck's starting to look good. Because Demi-Lich, it's not a Retriever Phoenix card. You play it to get cards like Lorehold Command a second cast. Okay. Okay. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. Gotta kill the Demi-Lich, don't ya? Because if they don't, I am Lorehold commanding for 3 more life, and I might sacrifice something. They're a very aggressive deck. Okay, hold up. They haven't ventured at all. Wait, hold up. Did they draw... So, they drew 4 Skyclave Shades, people. They drew 4 Skyclave Shades. Four. So we knew Skyclave Shade was, like, my weakness. And so they drew 4 of them. I'm sorry, I just find it hilarious. Alright. So even reducing 1 to memory seems pointless. So I'm just gonna opt. And then, yeah, attack in. Figure my stuff out after I opt. Not right now. Though I appreciate you, Clarion. Easy Lorehold. Alright, 3-2 white. 3 damage, gain 3 life. There we go. Good payment. Alright. Let's see. I could then expressive iteration, look for a land, and if I get the land, I could Kabihara. Otherwise, I just level this up and worry about next turn. I have Kabihara for future turns. That's an important thing to note. That being said, they're getting close to lethaling me, so I do need to be careful. Alright. Which one do I want in the hand? Clarion Spirit or Brazen Borrower? I think I want the Brazen Borrower in hand. Oh no, Clarion Spirit makes a bunch of 1/1s. Alright. I have enough monk classes. I appreciate it, though. Alright. We're finding our win condition. Next turn, I can Clarion Spirit. Yeah, Clarion Spirit making a bunch of 1/1s is actually very important. I'm just not going to play around. Like, they're going to have a combat trick. I want to make sure I don't die to it. If they play a land, sure, they get all 4 of their Skyclave Shades back. They can play 3 Skyclave Shades if they get their land back, but I ain't dealing with that right now. 3 Skyclave Shades, man. Alright. Start with Clarion Spirits, then I could bring back an Expressive Iteration. Alright, that sounds good. Ooh. I think I might have something better. They had 4 mana left open. They decided to leave 4 mana open. Alright, I'll do the Expressive Iteration, be safe. Alright. Unfortunately, this is the one that's getting the mana reduction, but I think at this point, we don't care about the mana reduction. We have what we need. Because, yeah, once we cast it, next turn we can actually... You hear something on Watch to kill one, and then Kabihara take down to kill another, getting a 2/2 in the process. Wait. Awesome. So now I get the Clarion Spirit trigger. 3 mana left open still. Alright, that's going into exile. So, I'm going to put the Bone Crusher in my hand. The Jawari at the bottom. There we are. Red. Alright. There we are. Next turn I could Bone Crusher Kabihara. And they gave me a perfect target for it as well. Before they have something for it. Alright. I have a bunch of stuff. Escape Regent. So I could Kabihara takedown, kill the Westgate, and I'll discard You Hear Something on Watch. Rip Apart can actually destroy the Warlock class. Alright. Well, it seems like we pulled it through. We pulled through. We're going to be at 2-1, guys. Wow. Wow. Demi-Lich doing the work! You just need Monk class beside it. Demi-Lich doing the work! Just play as a 4-drop, everyone. Just play as a 4-drop. I'll just Resolve All. Didn't realize Resolve All was an option. Oh, it was a tap land. Alright. We just Kabihara takedown. And we'll discard the Reduce the Memory, because that wasn't working out. Alright. Whew. Well done, Demi-Lich. I thought 7 cards was max BOD. Okay, so the cards on the left were in my hand. The cards on the right were in exile. So all the cards on the right were not considered part of my hand. Sorry, I didn't even see your comments. Yes, the cards on the right were in exile because I have Monk class, which exiles cards and allows me to play them as long as I cast a second spell on the turn. So all those cards on the right were cards that the Monk class were holding onto, and therefore were not technically in my hand. Ah. Alright. That sounds overpowered. It's actually just good enough. Not overpowered, it's good enough. Alright. That's a perfect target for Spike Field Hazard. Let me kill the eye twitch real fast before you check for your traps. Congratulations, there's still 2 instant speed spells, but they're both lands, so feel free to take them. Play River Glide, hold up Bone Crusher. Alright, so they took Bone Crusher. Very smart on their part. Alright, I mean, I'm not playing Expressive Iteration this turn. So I think I'm playing the Sageri Shelter tapped. Alright. Come for specimens. Perfectly happy to see it. Eye twitch. Alright. I see your deck. And I raise you mine. Do I Kabihara Takedown, or do I River Glide and play Carrion Spirit? Alright, I got it. So I River Glide, play Clarion Spirit, and then on a future turn, I will Expressive Iteration, land Kabihara Takedown. That's the plan. Alright. Okay, so right now they're just game lands. They seem to have some late game value engine. I'm going to Expressive Iteration first, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm going to cast this turn. So I'm going to put an Expressive Iteration in my hand. Yep. I'm going to put this back in my library, and this in exile. There we are. Let's see if you have a 2-mana play. You're very low on cards already. Awesome. So next turn I could Expressive Iteration and Study Break, or Expressive Iteration and Kabihara to kill something. I'm gonna let your Eye Twitch get through. You're stuck on cards. You're stuck on cards. I'm gonna let you be stuck on cards. Because the spell only needs you put another of the same in your hand. Hey, if it's a good spell, it's a good spell. Alright. We start with Expressive Iteration. Alright. I could put the Bone Crusher in my hand. The Brazen Borrower in exile. And I just bounce the yeah, I'll bounce something. I'll bounce something. And if they double block... Alright. Yeah, not sure they realize that comes to play tapped. Alright, if they double block with Shambling Ghast, which they should, yep. So here's the thing, I could actually Kabihara that. No, that's not the play. Do I bounce? Yeah, I bounce back the Shambling Ghast. Because I just want these Clarion Spirits, the more triggers they get, the better it is for me. Like, it's not even close. Alright. Usually I go blue, but I think this time it actually is preferable to go white. Alright. Oh, just discard a card? Alright. I'll discard the Opt. Thank you for attacking so I can get through. Oh, this is perfect. So I can Monk class, so this is a 1 mana Bone Crushy. I crush the Shambling Ghast, so that you can't do Clarion Spirit shenanigans. Yep. Let's just go aggro. They have to sacrifice the treasure to use Crawling Barrens, and then Crawling Barrens... Are you full tricolor? With this deck, yes, I am full tricolor. Black, white, red. I have a major focus on blue over the others, but I am tricolor. I could just make my Monk class level 2, bounce the Eye Twitch. Or I could bounce the treasure token, just be a jerk. I think just having the Kabihara takedown, though, is the win condition for me. Like, that's fun that I could do that with a Monk class, but I think I just go for the win condition. Creature or Planeswalker. Perfect. So this gets killed Professor Onyx. Actually, cancel. I could still study break these two, and then I just attack in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. No. Once they did that, it was actually preferable if I just used study break. Alright. Yeah, that's 2-1. That's 2.5-1. We are winning more games than we're losing. With this jank. With this jank, we are winning more games than we're losing. That's impressive. Oh yeah, by the way, Lambo Droid, in case you haven't noticed by the title, this is not a draft like I usually do. This is a standard, like, messing, trying to get things to work. Alright, we have Droid Disruption into Clarion Spirit, and any land gives us Clarion Spirit Opt, which will give us a bunch of 1/1s. So, let's go with it. So far, the Sorcerer class has been completely bunk. So when I removed the Sorcerer class, and then I added it back in to try to just see if it was good, because I never got to play with it. And now that I'm playing with it, now that I've had a chance to have it in my exile, it just seems like by the time I can play it, I've already have other ways to win the game. So, Snow-Covered Swamp. Alright. So if I have another draw a land, and if I hit it, I can Clarion Spirit Opt. If it's a tap land, start by attacking, see what they do. Probably Bone Crusher is my guess. That's a nice looking board. Yep, they sometimes do random boards. I think I opt for the land. There we are. I'll play Clarion Spirit now, and then next turn I could Brazen Borrower and Opt, or Study Break and Opt, depending on what I need. This does leave my Clarion Spirit vulnerable to removal, like a second Bone Crusher, but that means they're not playing Bone Crusher, which is an advantage in and of itself. Alright. Alright. So they get a little specimen. I like Brazen Borrower. It's a good card. This kills the 1/1 because it's a token, so it can't go back to hand. There we go. If they play nothing, I have Brazen Borrower. If they play something worth brazening, I have Brazen Borrower plus Study Break. Yeah, that's worth... if they minus it, I will... They have... Oh, they have Menace and Reach. Okay, well I can Brazen Borrower still if they do that. Awesome. And then my Study Break will allow me to get through. And I think we have a Reduce the Memory on standby, is my plan. Alternatively, I could grab a Teachings of the Archaics. Tough one. Because I'm about to dump my hand, so I'm going to grab Teachings. So I'm killing Lulth. And then I'm playing Demi-Lich. Awesome. And that's the thing. Just a 3-mana 4/3. Just, you don't play it for the big creature. You play it because it's big enough. Then I have Ops and Study Breaks to pull out with Demi-Lich. Oof. Alright. They haven't even played their Environmental Sciences yet. Necrotic Fumes on the Demi-Lich. That's a good play. That's a good play on their part. Yep. Getting rid of my Demi-Lich. And this is why I have Teachings, because... Alright. So Clarion Spirit, and then I can draw 2 cards is a play. I can also just Clarion Spirit, Brazen Borrower. I think this is the better play. Alright. So let's see. Do I want more white, or do I just want more red? I want more colors, I think. Okay. If they won't continue attacking with the spiders, I'm happy. If they don't, I can Brazen Borrower or Kabihara, do some plays. Yep, Teachers of the Archaics is great because it's just it's a card draw you can just pull out of nowhere.
I will show you what happens when the spiders touch.
Oh, these have Menace? Ah, I see. Well, I could just Kabihara take. I could Brazen Borrower one of the spiders and then just Kabihara Wolf.
My power is for annihilation.
Alright. Actually, even better. Brazen Borrower that. Brazen Borrower that. Alright.
I return to the abyss.
And we play a Rivergate. There we go. So now we threaten Brazen Borrower, and we have a Kabihara, and they just don't see the Kabihara. It's becoming harder and harder for them to attack, because my flying creatures are becoming a threat, so... And if they play another Wolf Spider Queen, a third one, I can actually, in response, immediately Kabihara them. Oof. Or do I just... Alright, so here's the question. Do I play Kabihara on the Bone Crusher to let my creatures go through, or do I Brazen Borrower? I think I Brazen Borrower. Yep. Alright. So I have a surprise Lorehold command. That's amazing. Alright, so I'm attacking. So what I can do is I can deal 3 life, gain 3 life, and then give all my creatures indestructible, and just swing in for lethal. Alright. Instructable and haste. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can I just copy her or take down that indestructible haste and get lethal? I think so. So I have 5 mana left over if I do this. Alright. And now I instead choose this one. Alright. If that's not lethal, I don't know what is. Yep, but they're indestructible, so you just lose your tokens, and I get... Okay, so it's not lethal. But oh my gosh, this deck has been performing. Clarion Spirit plus Demi-Lich, and then you don't go for 4 spells with Demi-Lich, you just get 2 spells. Alright. Good play on their part. And then they get a Bone Crushy. Or a Lolth. Oh my god! That Blood in the Snow might have won them the game.
What I demand.
Oh, never mind. Thank you, Lorehold Command. Okay, Lorehold Command, I need to put 3 of in this deck. At least. Alright, so they're trying to fetch for some sort of life gain. If they had Clean to Dust, that might have actually worked, which is scary to think about. Alright, 3-1. One more game, and then we put it on. But this is a winning record. This was the worst of... I thought this was going to be the worst of the 2 Demi-Lich decks, but because it was just so weird, I just... Like, when I first built this deck, there were 100 cards in it. I'm like, okay, how do I narrow this all the way down to 60? And my answer was, get rid of the lands. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is so cool that this is working. Alright. Aemon Tresor. Alright, Pathway. Glacier, Spikefield Hazard. Perfect. Alright, so I can go Sajeri into Riverglide, Clarion, then tap Spikefield if I need to. Alright. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, just to get an idea of why I'm not building this deck, there are no basic lands. Like, it plays rares instead of basic lands. Alright. Get my Clarion Spirit. Next turn I get Sorcerer class. If I want. Gonna start with an attack. Alright. Let's see how Sorcerer class fares. That's what they Mystical Dispute. Okay. I'm actually happy that that took the Mystical Dispute. This is a turn where if it's okay if they had nothing to play. So the fact that I instead spent that turn eating their Mystical Dispute actually feels really good for me. At least in my mind it does. So if they play nothing, I can opt and Study Blake on their turn as a way to get the effect there. Okay. Alternatively, I can Spikefield Hazard this and opt right now. Get 1/1 token flying. If they want to Mystical Dispute my opt, please, please Mystical Dispute my opt. Alright. Yeah, Clarion Spirit's just a win condition in and of itself, which is a fantastic card. Makes it a fantastic card otherwise. Alright, they put Lurse in their hand. I have a Bone Crusher for it. Play the second Clarion Spirit. They play Lurse, I'll just... It should be pretty easy to Bone Crusher. I had no white. Okay, that was a mistake on my part. That was a mistake. I didn't realize I lacked white. Advisor. Alright. Well, Lurrus Rogues happens to beat this deck. I'm not going to complain about that. Alright, they have a counterspell up. That's why they spent that much mana. I'm gonna still go for it, I think. Force their counterspell out of their hand. Alright. Have to play the Roggen Trio. Put the Monk class in my hand. I was hoping it'd be an untapped land, but I guess I shouldn't have expected much. It's not like... Oh, I exiled their one target that they can hit with Lurrus, so that's actually perfect. Alright, so I can Monk class first to make sure the Mystical Dispute isn't good enough. Alright, so they had an Into the Story. That sucks for me. So they have all the card draw. Alright, but that's okay. If they Mystical Dispute this, I just pay 3. Alright. Is there a mode where each player is given a deck without knowing what's in it and they just play a match? There's a few kind of like that. So it's hard to pull off because, like, how do you get, like, usually when they release modes, they have to reveal that, you know, this card exists or whatever, you know? Makes it hard to do those sort of things. Alright. Well, we have W here, something on watch if we need it. We don't have Demi-Lich. Alright, we're going to get this to level 3 and just end our turn. They better not have Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower loses me the game right here, I'm pretty sure. And they have a lot of cards in hand, so it's possible. Alright, yeah, Rogues is a deck I don't have much experience against. It's a strong deck. It can very much be a strong deck. Alright, they're tapping out. That's good for me. So Thought Thief, that's bad for me. Alright. I'm going to kill the Lurrus first if I have the opportunity. Yep. They can counterspell it. They have enough cards in hand to have a counterspell. They drew half their deck, so... if they have counterspells other than Mystical Dispute, it makes sense, and I'd be shocked if they don't have Drown in the Lock, so... Sucks they didn't mill my Demi-Liches. I have them both in hand. And we got a land off of that. Oof. All the oofs. Alright. I'm gonna Study Break them on their turn. And if they have some sort of counter, I can hear something and watch it. Alright. Just 2 down on the locks, okay. Well, I don't see how we get back from this. We can't... If this card had Flash, oh my gosh, this would be a good card. This is just like... Yeah, if this card had Flash, we could actually see it much more often. Won't even give me the Demi-Lich when it's not enough to save my life. Nope. Yeah, they're playing 8 counterspells. Drawing 5 in half their deck is not extreme. So we went 3-2. We went 3-2. Welcome to Rogues, everyone. Welcome to Rogues. So the only way I've found to beat Rogues is if they just don't draw into the story, basically. But yeah, we did it. We got 3-2. We won more games than we lost. And Demi-Lich was a main key, was a main factor. And it's in a 3-color deck. Oh, that's great. But we figured out very clearly that Sorcerer class does not belong. I don't think Rip Apart would belong either. Monk class was great. We're going to 4. And how is there only 4 Bone Crusher, 3 Bone Crusher Giants and Brazen Borrowers? Maybe we go to 3 Monk classes. Yeah, we go to 3 Monk classes because we only want to draw 1. There we are. There we are. That's what the deck looks like more of. Oh, no. We want a 3rd Lorehole command. Maybe take out Expressive Iteration? Yeah. Iterations keep iterating into more iterations. And definitely sideboard, this was an incorrect pick. Let's just really quick figure out what lesson we would want in here. Ooh, Academic Probation as a lesson allows us to, like, probate stop something, and then we come back and then we attack with Demi-Lich and we lock it down again. So, second TGX was unnecessary. 1 was more than enough. So I think we would have actually wanted either Expand Anatomy or Introduction to Prophecy. Yeah. There we are. There we go. That's what the deck should look like. Oh, man. Oh, man. It worked. Demi-Lich did good enough. Again, not tier 1, but it's Jank that works. And anytime Jank works, you have to feel good. You have to feel good when your Jank works. Oh my gosh. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And to my main viewers, you may have noticed I only did this. That's because this, I knew it was going to take a while. It took the full 4 hours of my stream. I actually have other decks I might want to play. The Gal Recursion is kind of theme. Worse Luris, literally just called it Luris but worse. Cody History, I made some changes I wanted to check out. So like this one has more counter spells, so you can actually consistently counterspell opponents with a Lorehold command. Like, there was some cool things here, but I'm glad with what we did. I think we did amazing things today. Oh my gosh. I am proud of myself today. We built some janky decks, and the jank actually achieved 3 wins every once in a while. Feels good. Alright. Let's raid a channel before we head out. Alright. Since this is more strategy-based stuff, I'm probably gonna... Let's see. Jim the Eternal with Rimworld? Or Grenade with Wild Witcher 3? I'm gonna go with Grenade. Because Grenade is part of my D&D stream, so we're gonna be running into him a bit more. Alright. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have fun on your stream. Have a wonderful day.